What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So it's been a very long time since I have posted anything on my channel. In fact, this year I have posted a single video on my channel. It was back in early May, and it talked about the reason why the channel's been on hiatus for almost 10 months. At that point, it was about 6 months. But if you didn't check out that vlog, it was just a regular vlog. If you want to know more information about, what was going on earlier this year and what has been going on for the majority of this year, then definitely check out that vlog. Although we're going to talk about it today. We're going to actually talk about it quite a bit today because the channel is coming back. So for those of you who have been sending me messages for the last 10 months asking where the content is, when is it going to come back? I can't wait for it to be back. You and me both. Because there's one thing that I've realized with this channel specifically, but the beer tubing community is I missed it. And, it's one of those things where you don't know what you have until you no longer have it. And it was one of those things where, the support from people was just mind blowing for me and wondering where I was. And then when I did post and say where I was, just the outpouring support for what I was going through was just ridiculous. Like I could not fathom it. I still can't. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, we're going to talk today about what has been going on with me this past year. The return of the channel, what to expect from the channel going forward. Spoilers, really shitty beer reviews. But outside of that, we're going to just talk about it. I am going to be reading comments, which I'm sure there's going to be some. The reason I did this live is because I wanted to interact with people. I wanted to talk to people. The last time I did this a pre-recorded vlog, and there was a lot of comments, and I was replying to them constantly over a couple-day period. So I figured this is a better kind of format. Here's the crazy thing. On my channel, I have not streamed anything in over 2 years. The last live stream on my channel was a beer review, July 8th of 2019. So that's just fucking stupid in my opinion. So we're gonna be doing more live stuff, but we'll talk about that. So I'm gonna get into the health stuff first, kind of get that out of the way so you guys kind of know what's going on. But first, we're gonna read these comments. So the first comment we have is from, he calls me a legend, but the legend himself, Craig from Kent Beer Reviews. He says the legend returns. Yeah, you are here, Craig. So you have returned to my channel finally. Cool, good to see. Then we have one of my favorite individuals, one of my really good friends, one of my OG friends in the beer tubing community, Paul from PA Brew News. And it wouldn't be Paul if he doesn't say stuff like this. Waiting patiently for the shit show. You didn't have to wait too long. Shit show is here. And then he says, oh, fuck yeah, because I went live. So Paul's super excited. And then we have Ashley Sexton, probably the most pristine palate known to man. He says the cream rises to the top, of course, talking about the fantastic, in my opinion, the fantastic Macho Man shirt here from his classic, the cream rises to the top promo back in the 80s with Mean Gene and cream of the crop, fantastic. Then we have Paul says, the return of the Midnight Rider has come, Big Daddy. Indeed it has. Kyle shows up, king of the mystery beers, according to one person. We know who that is, but I am the king of the mystery beers, and there's no debating it. Dustin says, welcome back, man. Appreciate it, Dustin. Dustin's one of the individuals that contacted me numerous times saying, I hope everything's going well and whatnot. So thank you, Dustin. Do appreciate it. Paul says, glad you're with us, Big Daddy. Much love, brother. Thank you, Paul. I'm glad I'm here too. We got Tyler from Southtown Beer Review says, hey, Joe. What's up, Tyler? And then Craig with the cheers, brother. Cheers to you, Craig. Always cheers to you, buddy. And then we have Bud Rhodes. Great dude. Says, welcome back, buddy. Ironically, I just had a heart procedure this week, feeling good. That's awesome to hear that everything went well, Bud, because, the heart's nothing to fuck with. And I just hope, everything works out for you. That's really good to hear. So, so we will get on with the show, so to speak. So, again, if you haven't watched the vlog from earlier this year, I highly recommend you check it out. I forget the length of it is probably like 20 minutes because I like to talk. That's what I do on my channel. I yap about a bunch of stupid shit and I say a lot of stuff that's meaningless. But that specific vlog, there's nuggets of information of where I have been this year. But we're going to talk about it. So basically, this is what happened. Late last year, I was going through some other health issues in late, I believe it was late November, because the last video that I have posted on my channel that was beer related was the day before Thanksgiving of last year. So we're going on almost 10 months, like 9.5 months at this point. And I didn't post anything from that point up until the vlog in early May. I had planned to take the rest of 2020 off and then come back in 2021 and resume, beer reviews and beer related goodness. But in January of this year, I started suffering symptoms in relation to a congenital heart disease that I was born with, which is what congenital heart disease means. I don't know why I said it that way, but I was born what is called a bicuspid aortic valve. So my aortic valve, 2 leaflets, a normal person's 3. What that means ultimately for someone who has a bicuspid aortic valve is there's an 80 to 85% chance that in their lifetime they need to get it replaced. And the means of doing so is open heart surgery. So 2 years ago in February of 2019, my cardiologist basically told me I was close to needing open heart surgery. Ever since I was born, every year I go for a couple different tests to keep an eye on my valve to see how much it's degrading. Well, in February 2019, my cardiologist basically said, you're close to needing your valve replaced. He said, I cannot tell you exactly when because everybody is different. And that's true when it comes to bicuspid aortic valve. There's a lot of people who end up having the same thing I do, and they have their aortic valve replaced as a child or a teenager or an early adult or sometimes as a senior. So everybody's different. But he basically said, you're close. He goes, it's probably going to be within the next 5 years, but I don't know exactly when. So we started every 6 months kind of keeping an eye on what was going on. So in January of this year, I started experiencing symptoms that I knew were related to my aortic valve. I had some shortness of breath. I had some lightheadedness, and my left leg was swollen around like the knee a little bit below. So I called my cardiologist and I said, we need to get it taken care of because I'm pretty sure this is, it's time. He's like, all right, we'll go for some tests. We did. Yep. Need to get it replaced. So I had it scheduled for Monday, May 10th. Unfortunately, it's crazy. The day before, I actually ended up getting a sinus infection. Never had a sinus infection in my life. I got one. So they wouldn't clear me for the surgery and they had to cancel it. I had to get cleared from the sinus infection. I had to get cleared from my regular doctor. Then I had to go for all the pre-op tests for open heart again, because for my doctor specifically, it's a 14-day period where you got to go for all the pre-op stuff, blood work, EKG, chest x-rays, the whole 9. So by the time that I was cleared, I was able to do all the pre-op stuff and they rescheduled. The new date was Thursday, June 24th. So got pushed back about 6 months, or 6 weeks. So that kind of sucked, but they told me I wasn't in any immediate danger. I'd be fine. Nothing bad was going to happen. Let's just say that. At least that's what they kind of relayed to me, that everything was going to be okay. And I believed them. So there's no reason not to believe it, right? So the Thursday, June 24th surgery went without a hitch. Everything went well, no complications. The only, I guess, complications are kind of anything that negative that happened in the actual recovery period in the hospital was that I actually didn't get to go home for 8 days. Typically for an aortic valve replacement, you're around 5 days or so. But here's one thing that you're going to learn about me and my channel and everything going forward, because this is all in relation, is that I elected to go with a mechanical valve for my aortic valve. And there's 2 types. There's mechanical and there's biological. Biological can be a cow or a pig's valve, and then mechanical is a prosthetic mechanical valve. They both have pros and cons. For me, in my life and how I thought about everything, I went with the mechanical valve because mechanical valves can last upwards of 50 years. So pretty much the rest of my life. The downside, the one con to it, is that you got to be on blood thinners the rest of your life. And it's heavy duty blood thinners. It's something called Coumadin. It goes by the generic name of warfarin. And you have to make sure your INR levels, and in layman's terms, INR levels it measures how quickly your blood clots. And for someone with a mechanical valve, you don't want it to clot as quickly as a normal person. The level for a normal person is 1.0. I have to be between 2.0 and 3.0. So I got to take the medication. They had to dial on my dosage and everything. But when I was in the hospital, I was actually ready to go home 5 days afterwards, but I wasn't allowed to go home until 8 days afterwards because my level wasn't high enough. So eventually I get home, and the only setback I had outside of the hospital recovery period was I actually went back to the ER the following Wednesday. I was suffering really bad back pain, right between my shoulder blades that painkillers weren't getting rid of. So my surgeon was like, it could be related to your heart. You could be having a complication, whatever. Go to the ER. I did. Turns out it was severe musculoskeletal pain, and they gave me some painkillers or some muscle relaxers, and a couple days it cleared up. And after that, I started feeling pretty good. It was a slow process. With open heart, they cut you down the middle. They, break your breastbone. They get access to your heart, and your heart and everything recovers pretty quickly. I think they said like 4 to 6 weeks. It's the breastbone part that takes a while. So the main recovery for me throughout the month of July was just being able to do simple things like laying in bed. For the first couple of weeks, I actually bought a wedge pillow, so I could lay like on, at a like 45-degree angle, because when you lay down in bed, your arms, even though you're like, hey, I can use them, any pulling or pushing or anything, you could re-injure your breastbone. But more importantly, it hurts, and it hurts bad, even with painkillers. So just like being able to sleep on your back was like, that was like one goal. And once I got to that goal, I was so happy. And throughout the month of July, I was improving. And I really started feeling better late July, early August, really good. So what I ended up doing is surprising everybody at Beer Palooza 2021. A good friend of mine, fellow beer tuber Matt over at Massive Beer Reviews, he hosted the one back in 2019, hosted it again this year. And I pretty much surprised everybody there except for FLX Beer Reviews. New guys, we'll talk about them at some point in the future as well. I went with them. They were FLX Beer Reviews. Check them out. Their channel's fantastic. But Dan and Mike, two of the nicest guys. We only met a couple times beforehand, and they allowed me to stay in their Airbnb. They drove me there and back, and they just made sure that the entire weekend was awesome for me. And I could not thank them enough. Really cool guys. Check out their channel. But the cool thing is that I was able to go to Beer Palooza, and I actually drank some beer. There were 1 ounce pours of everything, and I didn't drink everything there. So I made sure not to get drunk or buzzed, which a lot of people would be like, what's the point? I just want to hang out with some friends of mine. That's really, if I wasn't able to drink, I still would have went. I know that probably sounds like a lie or I'm being dishonest, but honestly, if I couldn't drink beer, I still would have went. But I decided to, play it cool and calm and just like, hey, I'm going to drink a couple beers each day and just go from there. Everything went without a hitch, and it was a great weekend. And over the course of August, I have been feeling pretty fantastic from a heart and like upper body and just everything relating to the surgery. I feel, I wouldn't say 100%, but I'm like close. I'm probably like in the 80 to 90 range. Not allowed to start cardiac rehab until the end of this month. My cardiologist wanted to wait until my breastbone was fully healed, which typically takes three months to get to the point where I can exercise and stuff. So probably 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be starting some cardiac rehab. I guess that's the only downside. All I can do is really like brisk walking or whatever. So like I'm still get tired easily, and I just, I'm not in shape, and I just kind of feel blah at times. So, if that's all I'm experiencing right now, I'm a pretty fucking happy guy. Because let me tell you, just being alive after surgery like that is a win in itself. So the fact that I'm doing as well as I am so thankful to be able to talk to you guys now via the good old interwebs. It's awesome to be able to come back to the channel, and it's awesome that I can sit here and drink a beer. It really is. And I'm drinking a Treehouse beer that was given to me by one of Matt's viewers who came to BeerTuber Palooza, Steven. He gave me Treehouse's Trail. It's a, I believe, a German Pilsner. Yeah, German-style Pilsner. And it is, I forget the ABV on it. Maybe on the bottom? I don't know. I think it's like 5 something. I thought they always put the ABV. I'm just a dumbass. It doesn't say it, but I think it's like 5%, 5.2, something like that. I don't know. It's a pretty delicious beer. So yeah, as far as my health, that's pretty much the update. We'll talk about what that means for the channel momentarily, but let's get back to the comments. So comments, we have Adam from Mercy Beers. He says, cheers, hope you're feeling better. Thank you, Adam. I am feeling much, much better. And then we have Eric. Eric says, hey, Joe, thanks for filling us in. You went with a mechanical valve. An old coworker in his late 40 had one. It was quiet enough. You could, if it was quiet enough, you could hear it clicking. Does that happen to you? Well, here's the thing, and you guys tell me. I have my lav mic on right now, and here's where my heart would be located. I did a lot of testing with like a boom mic and a Yeti and this and that. You really can't pick up my valve on this too often unless you really look for it, or if it's like dead quiet. But let's be honest, I talk so much, there's not a lot of dead air. So I'm going to still go with the lav mic unless it becomes an issue, and I don't think it is going to. Here's the thing, Eric. I thought, and it's great, I'm actually super happy you asked that question. I'll put it back on the screen. So as he's asking, if it's quiet enough, can you hear it clicking? I hear it multiple times throughout the day. And the one thing that I was very worried about going into the surgery, because again, I was told in February 2019 I was close to needing the surgery. So I started doing a lot of research. And the one con that a lot of people talked about was the actual noise of the valve. And like, it was ruining people's lives. Like, people were just hearing it all day long, and it was like driving them crazy. One guy said he actually wants to go in for another open heart surgery to get a biological valve. That's how much it bothers him. So I was really worried. Let me tell you, it does not bother me in the least. When I do hear it, it's usually when my back is pressed against something. So when I'm sleeping, or if I'm in a chair with a tall back, like if I am pressed back against it, my heart feels like it's the strongest fucking thing known to man. And you can feel it beat, but you can also hear the valve. And it actually, for me, is soothing, because it lets me know I'm alive, and it's fucking working, and it's working as well as I want it to be. You know what I mean? So at nighttime, it's almost like a soothing, like, you know how some people like ASMR videos, or they like rain falling makes it easier for them to fall asleep. I kind of go to sleep listening to my valve click. I know it sounds fucking weird, but it is so refreshing to hear it, because I know I'm alive. So I thought it was going to drive me crazy. The actual opposite, and it actually is reassuring, and that's, for me, I couldn't ask for much. So awesome. Thanks for the question, Eric, and I appreciate it, man. You've another guy who's posted on Untappd and on my channel, hoping everything has went well multiple times. So thanks, man. Paul says, wish I would have went, but unfortunately I got a little sick and I didn't want to risk it, especially when you were there. I appreciate you thinking about me, Paul. But yeah, that's probably the play, but we did miss you. At least like 3 people were like, where's Paul? And they were so disappointed, because you're a legend, Paul. You're a legend. You don't know it, but you are. Steven, who gave me this beer and like 12 others, which I will be reviewing probably 4 to 6 of the beers he gave me. Some were a little older, some were a little fresher. Some I just want to drink off camera. Some I want to drink on camera. But he gave me this one, and I've had it before, so I was like, I'd just drink it. But he just says, yo, nice to see you on your own channel. Thanks, Steven. I do appreciate it. Steven was awesome. He came as a viewer of Matt's, and he brought everybody beer mails, and fucking he actually drove us back at nighttime. He slept on the murder house, as we call it, the murder Airbnb's couch. Nothing happened, at least as far as I know. Keith from 93 Lumber says, happy to have you back, Joe. Keith, I love you, buddy. Keith's an awesome dude. Go check out his channel if you haven't. Hops and Brews says, glad you're doing better. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Go check out Hops and Brews. If you want to see production value that blows my channel away, you got to go check out his reviews. FLX beer reviews. I'd assume this is Dan, because I don't think Mike posts under the account. He says, Treehouse for the first time. Nice. He says, awesome seeing content on the channel live or recorded. I'll take it. Cheers. I will say this again. Dan and Mike, relatively new in the beer tubing fray. I believe I think they started back in the spring. I think it was April. 2 of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Plus, they have a great channel in which they're just sitting down drinking a beer. They're reviewing it, but they're doing so in a way that's like, hey, I would love to just sit there and have a beer with those guys. Plus, on top of it, like, they're fucking fantastic individuals, and I speak from hanging out with them an entire weekend and seeing it firsthand. So go give those guys a sub for sure. Give everybody a sub who is in the channel that has a channel here, from Paul to Craig to Keith to Hops and Brews. All these guys, Mercy Beers. Although, Adam, are you doing stuff on your channel? I know you did like live shows here and there, but you don't actually do reviews. Tyler from Cell 10, check his channel out. Colin from No Hype, obviously. All these guys, fantastic channels. There's a reason why I'm friends with them, and I follow their stuff, because they have awesome content. Eric Gilbert says Thrash Live Raid. I don't know what that means. Is that Thrash Homebrew? Is he rating my channel? I don't know. Eric says that's awesome. Yeah, it is awesome that this is not driving me crazy, because I really thought that was going to be ridiculous. Adam says, do you get a special card for metal detectors at the airport? I do not have one. It's funny you ask, because I actually had planned to ask my cardiologist about that specifically for my valve, but also you're supposed to have a card for taking Coumadin, a blood thinner, because if something was to happen, they would have to know that like you're on a blood thinner and give you the appropriate care. So I don't know. I'm going to ask him. I go see my cardiologist in early November, so I will definitely ask him that. We'll see. Ashley says, I think that's the best way to think about your valve clicking. Yeah, it is. I can hear it. I'm alive. Everything's fucking fantastic, Ashley. That is a great way. Eric Gilbert with the old school Ice Cube. Yay, yay. Ice Cube all day, baby. Steven is the man with all the beer sharing, says Dan. Yep, he totally is. Craig, good to see you on the beer, sons. He just said son, not plural. Sorry, I just got a little bit ahead of myself. myself. It's like I'm a fucking plural. I'm a big guy, so I'm like 1.5 people. Kyle says FLX dudes are legit. They are. They're definitely legit. Let's see. Tyler from South 10 says, subbing to you fellows now. Fellows. I don't know why I said fellows, because apparently I can't read. Some things never change. And then Adam says, yeah, I need less subscribers. I just unsubbed from your channel, Adam. Instantly. That's what I did. No, Adam is like, Adam, don't take this the wrong way, although you might, but you remind me of me back in like 2011, 12. All I would do is hop on live shows of like the Albino Rhino, whoever else was doing it, all the Canadian guys, but I didn't have a channel. It was like 5 years later, I finally started my channel, but I was just like, I'll be on all the live streams. I'll hang out with them in real life and stuff, but I don't want a channel. It's kind of how you, I picture you in some regards, but you're better than me, so it doesn't matter. Eric says, Thrash trolled another channel and caught you on the way back. Son, okay, that makes sense. Adam says, I only ask about the card as a friend of my dad's had one for the metal plate in his head. No, that would be definitely what you would need for the airport. For me, I don't know if it's actually made out of anything that's going to be picked up by the metal detectors. I think it's plastic or something in like polycarbonate or whatever. I don't think it's actually metal. So I don't know. I don't think I'll need one, but I think I'll need one for the blood thinners. By the way, this treehouse Pilsner is really delicious, and it's like over 4 months old. Still fucking fantastic. Okay, so Dan trying to move this along because I like to get sidetracked by the comments and just random shit. He says, so Joe, what's the game plan for review schedule? I'm sure I'm not the only one wondering. I don't think anybody really fucking cares, Dan. Maybe you, maybe me. Now, so what's the plan for the channel? Well, here's the thing. I don't really know. And I'm just being honest with you because I don't know. I certainly can't go back to my old schedule. So if you followed the channel for the last couple of years, back between let's say late 2018 throughout the entire year of 2019 into early 2020, I literally posted a video of some sort on my channel for almost 15 straight months. So we're talking over a year of content every single day. And I kind of prided myself on that. I was like, you know what? I'm consistent. I'm going to make sure that every day there's some kind of video, whether it's a review, a beer mail, whatever, live stream. However, I started suffering other health issues, not major ones, but ones that put me out of, being on antibiotics and things like that in 2020, a couple different times where I took entire months off. So that kind of went out the window. But what I really tried to do in 2020 when I was posting videos was do basically a review per day. And that's pretty much the main thing. I would do typically 7 to 10 videos per week. Some days I would post 2 reviews, one in the morning, one at night. That's not going to be something that happens, certainly not in the very near future with me being on blood thinners and watching my INR levels and trying to figure out how much alcohol affects it. Because to this point, knock on, do I have wood somewhere? I don't know. We're just knock on wood. Alcohol hasn't affected it yet. And I don't think it's going to because I plan to drink in moderation. Now, when we say moderation, Paul from PA Brew News would be like, oh, so you're allowed to have like a 6-pack every day. No, that's not moderation, Paul. That's your moderation. For me, moderation is I'm probably going to drink three times per week and probably a couple beers each time I drink. So I'm thinking 3 to 5 reviews per week, probably leaning towards 5 reviews per week to begin, 3 to 5, and go from there. I don't have like any set schedule per se right now, just because again, it's touch and go, but I'm going to be bringing back content. So if it's only 3 reviews per week for the first month or 2, cool. If it's 5 reviews, cool. I'm going to try to do more live streams. This is something that I'm very bummed out that I stopped doing. So whether it's going to be live duo and trio reviews with other beer tubers or live streams where we talk about shit, whatever the case may be, I will be bringing back live streams. I'm going to try on my channel to do at least once a week or once every couple of weeks because I like it. And I'm going to be jumping on other people's channels, the FLX guys, some of the UK guys like Craig from Kent Beer Reviews and Harry from Blue Nose and all the guys in the UK that stream. I'll be on Matt over at Massive Beer Reviews, Kyle over at No Hype, the Nerd Sense guys. I'm going to jump on a bunch of streams every week because it's a lot of fun and I miss doing it. So we're going to see how things play out. And I can't sit here and tell you what date specifically my content will be coming back, but all I can say is it will be before the end of this month and sooner rather than later. My goal is to bring content back within the next 7 to 10 days. So we will see what happens with that. But yeah, the one thing recovering from major surgery like this, there's good days and there's bad days, but there's also good and bad days mentally. There's some days I wake up and I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get online. I don't want to hang out with anybody. I don't want to shoot reviews. So it's going to be touch and go. So if there's, 3, 4, 5 days a week where I don't post anything, please do not be angry with me. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. So, like I said, content will be coming back, but I don't know exactly what that pertains. What else? We'll go back to comments here. So Craig says, hangout junkie back in the day, mate. Yeah. That's the one thing I miss is just hanging out with everybody, man. It's so fucking cool, man. I've been on some live streams lately and it's been an absolute blast. So can't wait until it's a regular occurrence and not like some kind of special thing. Hobbs and Bruce says, so you could say you have a built-in noise machine. I kind of do. And it's interesting. I don't know if I would ever recommend it to anybody, but it's a lot of fun. Eric says, oh yeah, I remember you being on the albino rhino. His whole crew seemed like a blast back then. Yeah. I mean, I started watching BeerTube really through a lot of the Canadian guys, including the albino rhino. And yeah, hanging out with those guys for many years was a lot of fun. That was way before I started my channel. So it was fantastic. All Aboard says, Beer PaTroll, how's it going? So All Aboard, she used to live, I believe, in Rochester, New York. Now she's down south. And there's a mutual friend of ours, Poppy Eats. He does like reviews, like fast food reviews and stuff. He's a friend of the FLX guys, or she's a friend of the FLX guys. So welcome to the channel. It's beer centric here, and I'm talking about being back from Open Heart and stuff. So if you're kind of confused where we're at right now, that's what I'm talking about. Eric says antibiotics make everything taste like foam. It's not great. Antibiotics suck. It ruined, like my stomach was ruined. I had to do it multiple times. 2020, it was fucking terrible. So yeah, I do not like antibiotics. FLX Dan says, hey, All Aboard. As I said, mutual friends. Adam says, your comments are accurate. 2 joint reviews on Blue Nose Beer Review channel this week seems like way too much of me on the internet, although I do glad my appearances on the playlist on my channel. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to kind of be a part of something, but actually not have like your own channel. It was a lot of fun hopping on other people's reviews, hopping on other people's channels. But I will honestly say this, Adam, and we're probably different, maybe not, or maybe the same, but like starting my channel, one of the best things I've ever done because, I got a lot of hobbies in my life. This is one of my favorites, like just being a part of something, even though it's a very niche category on YouTube, which is reviewing beers, right? Beer tubing. It's still a lot of fun. And I've met so many fantastic people that now I consider like actual friends outside of beer tubing, just like, hey, they're my friends. I text them all the time. I talk to them. That's awesome. So All Aboard says, FLX, how's it going? I saw your pineapple creamsicle review today. Looks tasty to me. They did do the head-to-head with the double and triple, and the double's fucking fantastic. I can't believe you guys didn't give it a 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 all day long, sons. So let's see. Paul says, I miss those Western New York reviews, Big Daddy, or Western New York Wednesday reviews. Yeah, me too, even though it's typically fucking fruited sours and hazies because that's all I drink, right, Paul? Kyle says, imagine being a big enough piece of shit to get mad at you for not posting enough beer reviews. Are you saying that you're the big piece of shit, Kyle? I'm just kidding. Yeah. I don't think anybody's gonna get angry at me for like if I only do a couple reviews per week in the near term. I'm just saying if anybody is like, man, why aren't you posting more content? It's touch and go, I just want to make that abundantly clear that I'm gonna do as much as I can, but I need to think about my health, right? So the fact that I'm even allowed to drink beer after my surgery in moderation is a win with itself. But it's one of those things where like a lot of people follow my channel for the old stuff, which was a review per day, and they like the consistency. You're probably not going to get that ever again from me just because it's not feasible if I want to be healthy, Eric says, but I do love that Kyle mentioned that if you are angry at me for not being able to post, kind of a piece of shit. I mean, I think so. Eric says, I cut back as well, 3 quads a night and just 1 double of cast strength scotch, son. Jesus, 3 quads per night. You're fucking done. You're done, son. That rhymed. Anyway, Guy from Drinking Canada says, casually dry humps Joe. You're probably one of the few people I'd allow to do that to me, Guy. So I just want to let you know that you're in exclusive company. Bum, holy shit, Bum. It's been a while, man. I usually try to watch the Joe D show occasionally, but like it's usually way earlier than I'm usually on YouTube. But good to see you, buddy. He says, great to see you again, Joe. Hello to you, Craig, and Adam. Awesome. Bum, if I ever come to Pittsburgh, I have to contact you and we got to hang out. At the very least, get a beer together, man. Long time coming. Guy says, glad you are back. Up and about, Joe, you sexy coconut. I see what you did there. I love you, Guy. It's been too long, man. I can't wait until going to Canada won't be a huge issue and whatnot because I miss all the Canadian guys. Got to hang out again at some point. Craig says, cheers to Bum, as does Adam, because Bum is a fantastic individual. So a couple things that I do want to talk about is first is for a lot of people don't like these and a lot of people do. So for those of you in the comments who do not like pumpkin beers, you don't care about this, so you fucking tune out, whatever. But for those of you who do and who enjoy the 10 days of pumpkin I do every single year, want to kind some feedback. So the 10 days of pumpkin for me is I review 10 pumpkin days in the month of October. It's usually the 9 days leading up to Halloween and then a Halloween. I think I'm going to change it up this year. And that's because that's way too many fucking pumpkin beers to drink in a row. Let me tell you, drinking 10 straight pumpkin beers for the last 3 years, halfway through the week, I'm just like, this is just too much. What am I doing, right? So I'm going to try to break it up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm still going to do the 10 days of pumpkin, but I'm going to do it over the whole month of October. So I'm going to post 2 reviews per week through the first full 3 weeks, and then maybe the last 4 days, the 3 days leading up to October, I'm gonna do it. Anybody out there who watches the 10 days of pumpkin and enjoys them, are you okay with that? Even if you're not, I'm probably going to still do it that way just to save my fucking palate from palate fatigue with 10 days of pumpkin, because I'm one of the few guys on BeerTube, I can safely say, that reviews as many pumpkin beers as I do each year. And I make a deal about it because I like pumpkin beers, probably more than the average person. But man, do I suffer through it. Okay, I'm just going to say it. That's a fucking lot of pumpkin. It's a lot of any style to drink 10 days in a row, but specifically pumpkin beers that have nutmeg and allspice and cinnamon and blah, blah, blah. There's so many fucking spices and things going on. So if you like 10 days of pumpkin, I hope you're okay with it, because I'm probably going to change that up in October. Jesus Christ. I just wanted to get that out of the way, just because I know people are going to, I know this sounds crazy probably for the people in comments, but I've gotten already like at least a half dozen comments, if not close to double digits, of people are like, dude, are you going to come back yet? I can't wait for the pumpkin beers. I can't wait for the fall beers. And I'm just like, me too. But like, I love pumpkin beers, but I don't know. I fucking don't know. Okay, so we'll go. Did I just do a rant about pumpkin beers and I'm the one that does them? What am I even doing anymore? Oh boy. Paul from PA Purdue says 3 quads, still prefer 750s to 6 imperial stouts. Yeah, that's what we call a session. That's Paul, like a regular session beer for somebody is usually like a 5% whatever, and they'll drink a 6-pack. Paul's is like a 750 of 6 imperial stouts that are like 12%. He is a crazy individual. Maxwell Star, aka Nick, says, we all call him Joe a bum. No, you came in at the wrong time. I am a bum, but we were talking about another individual who comments, a great guy. But you don't watch my channel at all and never have, Nick, so it's okay, buddy. I don't watch yours. Craig says, see ya, pumpkin. Are you leaving? Are you leaving, Craig? Or are you saying fuck off the pumpkin beers? Either way, I'm with it. Dan says fucking pumpkin beers. Dan is not a fan of pumpkin beers. Maybe someday. Paul says fancy a bum. I don't personally, but some people do. Adam says don't like pumpkins. Don't mind some pumpkin beers, but we get very few over here to confirm. Yeah, Adam, that's the one thing about the States, and you probably know this. As soon as like middle of July hits, like everything, pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice beers, pumpkin spice candles, pumpkin spice fucking literally everything. Instead of like releasing it in September and October when you want to drink the fucking pumpkin beers, if you want it fresh, you got to drink it on like July 14th. It's like, no. Nick, listen, buddy, this is my return, and you're just coming in here calling me a bum, saying a pumpkin, blumpkin, and then, I don't appreciate it, man. I don't, I just don't. You're a piece of shit. I love you, Nick. Paul says, cancel 10 days of pumpkin forever for the greater good. I forget that there are so many people who just fucking hate pumpkin spiced anything, especially beers. Paul is one of them. Him and Dan from FLX would definitely be best friends based on their just super hate of pumpkin beers. Like, I've never seen people hate that stuff so much. All Aboard says Pittsburgh is a great drink city, as is West Virginia, minus the opioids. Yeah, Pittsburgh has a lot of great breweries. I know that, and they're much like Buffalo, where like they don't have a lot going on. They have their sports teams and stuff, and they like to get their beers going. HLMACTIII. I don't know how to actually pronounce that. So if you want to allow me to butcher it, I could, but I'm not going to. But someone that comments a lot of my videos, awesome viewer. He goes, "Good to see you back, Joe. I'm happy to hear that it's going to be a 10 days of pumpkin from you at all this year." So there's one person that enjoys the 10 days of pumpkin. Guy says, I did not show it. He said, here's the thing too. Let me just blow your mind for a second. I don't think anybody really cares, but it's been so long since I've live streamed on my channel that when I live streamed on my channel last July 8th of 2019, StreamYard didn't fucking exist as we know it. It wasn't the main streaming. I was on Google Plus Hangouts. So I'm still trying to get used to all the fucking fancy gadgets and like highlighting comments and shit. Like, yeah, I've been in a StreamYard hangout, but I've never like controlled one. So this is new to me. But Guy from Drinking Canada says, if things weren't so weird with the border, you could go up to Redbeard in October and hop on the drive to New Brunswick for the next piss up. I could. Yeah, that would be nice. Instead, we got to get like a COVID test and all that stuff. Costs a lot of money. And plus, I'm obviously not in any real position to be doing that right now. Eric says, keeping the borders closed. Canadians are hiding from the Rona at the cottage drinking. It's probably a good fucking idea. Dustin says, drinking me some King Sue at the moment. Next is Hop Juju. I fucking love King Sue. I never expected that beer to be as dank as it was, especially the batch I had. But I love Hop Juju too. Are they releasing Hop Juju more often? Is it like year round, or are they doing it more rotating each year? Because it used to be a seasonal that they release, I believe, in like February, maybe March. So the fact that you're drinking one right now, I'd assume it's fresh, is pretty fucking fantastic, Dustin. All Aboard says Joe has the ability to look like anyone with a beard like the wrestler on his shirt. That is true. Ooh, yeah, it's the macho man. Adam says pumpkins are good for you. You should eat a slice of pumpkin for every pumpkin beer you drink. That would keep it moderate. Like a slice of actual pumpkin or like a slice of pumpkin pie? Pumpkin, I'm not a huge fan of. Pumpkin seeds are delicious, but like pumpkin, like the innards of a pumpkin, pretty fucking gross. Paul says, I'll get Rod, Todd, yourself, and me a Maple Mistress so we can do a 4-way review. I'm into that because, I want a Maple Mistress it up for like the last 2 years, and Saucony Creek just doesn't distribute anywhere to like the west side of PA. I've tried to find an Erie, just no go, no bueno. Eric Gilbert says 5% is a 12-pack for breakfast. As says a man who is slowed down to 3 quads and some scotch. Nick says, I don't watch your channel either, only because you haven't uploaded anything for a few months. That is true, Nick. That is true. I do actually watch your channel, unfortunately. I only watch your channel, honestly, for Greg. Like, if Greg wasn't on it, I might not watch it. Guy says, resumes dry humping Joe whilst wearing a pumpkin head. That would be an interesting picture. I would love to see that, or a video. Eric says, you can have all the pumpkin. I will try. Tyler says, Dan hating on pumpkin ales, but is riding my ass about getting pumpkin for the joint review. Haha. Tyler, it's all about those YouTube views, son. YouTube views, YouTube monies, all of the YouTube monies that none of us get because there's no money in fucking beer tubing, but you can live. I mean, I feel like if you guys do that review and you get like 75 views or something on it, Dan's going to be like fist pumping like he's Derek Jeter, just won the World Series. Why did I reference Derek Jeter? He's a Hall of Famer now, but fuck Derek Jeter. I don't know. That's when I'm by myself and there's no one to play off of. I just go on rants about things that make no sense, don't pertain to anything. I don't know why I just tore into Derek Jeter, but maybe it's because he would have one night stands with people and leave them a gift basket. I don't know. What do you know? Dan says Kyle drinks Hightower beer. I think it is from Pittsburgh. Pretty sure 4 points isn't bad either. Yeah. Is Hightower from Pittsburgh? I thought Hightower was from somewhere else. Fuck if I know. I thought it was like Carolina somewhere. So All Aboard says favorite beer can from behind you. They're all delicious, but I think most of the people here know that my favorite beer is Sukaba, Firestone Walker. It's a barrel-aged English barley wine, and the actual barrels give you some toasted coconut notes that is unlike any other beer I've ever had. It's my all-time favorite beer, and it's fucking delicious. It is. Nick says, welcome to the 21st century. Well, I'm not really happy to be here, Nick, honestly, in the 21st century. It's been a shit show. All Aboard says, I don't like that you declined my dry humping offer, by the way. Did I decline it? I mean, I'll listen, if anyone wants to dry hump me, I'm on board. I'm all aboard, if you will. Dustin, I've seen it at least 2 to 3 times a year now here, at least in the Indianapolis area. That's fucking cool, dude. Hop Juju is one of those old school, but not really super old school, like double IPAs that are just fucking delicious, and not enough people know. Adam says, LOL, Joe, ticker banners on Street Banner are going to blow your mind. I know. Listen, I'm trying to keep my valve intact and my mind. So, like, we can't, if anything's going to startle me or make me super excited, you're going to have to let me know about it in advance. So I do appreciate the advance notice. Because we're just going to have to make sure nothing happens here. I've also noticed laughing really hard still hurts my sternum. So, like, no jokes, no real crazy jokes. I'm trying to not die on camera. I mean, that'd be the preference. Nick says, don't inflate Greg's ego like that. You'll make him worse. Yeah, like that was, Nick, that was called sarcasm, number one. Number two, I don't ever watch your channel or anybody's channel for Greg. In fact, if Greg was on no one's channel, I'd probably watch more, to be honest with you. He said, if that's even possible, I don't think so. Nick says, love you, Joe, all caps. Paul, where's your uniform? Fuck you, Paul. Dan just says, never had Tsukaba. Oh, shit, there's these little 3 dots I can click. Should I put Dan in timeout or block him for never having Tsukaba? Which one do I give him? Maybe both? Who the fuck knows? Paul says, almond husks, Big Daddy. Where's the apple brandy? Still one of the greatest reviews I've ever been a part of. Paul can tell it better than I can probably, but we did a review where it was a big barrel-aged beer in brandy barrels, and I just kept on asking him in the middle of the review, where's the apple brandy? But I had selective hearing at that point, so when he kept on saying it's not apple brandy barrels, it's brandy barrels, I just ignored him for about 5 straight minutes and just kept on asking where the apple brandy barrel was. Well, it didn't exist. That's why there was no apple brandy in that beer. And Paul loves the almond husk tasting note for big boozy beers a lot of times. I'll get almond husks. And then I start throwing, like, you sure you walnuts? Maybe, I don't know, walnut husks? I don't know which ones. Choo Choo says all aboard. Yeah, I don't know why I said that out loud. Like, I was choo choo. This is why I probably shouldn't have a channel. Nick loves Tsukaba. Craig is doing the Beer PaTroll with the cop car and the siren. Unbelievable. Jamie, one of my favorite individuals of all time from beer tubing, says cream of the crop. Indeed, Jamie. I miss you, buddy. I can't wait to hang out with you guys. Just miss all the fucking I miss all the beer tubers that I hang out with, like the Canadian guys. I definitely got to get on a beer analysis 101 when it isn't fucking special beers that Jamie's sending these guys from the middle of nowhere, Ontario. I'm not jealous. I didn't say I was jealous. Maybe a little. Guy says, you guys get the Molson Bond Lager over there? Tastes like Innocent Gun when it used to be good. No, I have not seen the Molson Bond Lager at all. Keep my eye out for it. Probably one of those Canadian, like, exclusive Molson beers. We don't see a lot. I think there's Molson Canadian and, like, Molson Light as far as, like, Molson. Maybe, like, Molson. Is there a Molson Dry, I'd imagine? Whatever the high ABV Molson is, there's not. Nick says, if you block him, he'll never learn. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't block Dan. I would block Greg probably. Western Canadian Reviewer, a.k.a. West Coast Dan, says, welcome back. Thank you very much, Dan. Good to see you, buddy. Dustin says, I've really gotten to like barrel-aged barley wines lately over barrel-aged stouts. Both are great, though, obviously. If I had to pick, and I know it's blasphemy for a lot, yeah, barrel-aged barley wines are like barrel-aged old, like old ales, things of that nature. Those are top tier for me, just because there isn't a lot of breweries that do them extremely well, and it's hard to find like great ones. But when you find like a great barrel-aged barley wine or old ale, it's fucking next level. It really is. It's just like, and I feel like English barley wines or barley wines in general are kind of acquired taste more so than any other style in craft beer. It's tough to get into just because of the sheer amount of malt character. But once you find one that you love, I don't know. I feel like it's got to be top tier. If you block him, he'll never. You didn't have to post it again. I understand what you're saying, even with the misspellings. I'm not Redbeard over here, Nick. Come on, buddy. He says, we'll do a shitty U.S. lager just for you, Joe. Fuck no. Nope. I saw you guys redid, what was it, fucking Coors Banquet or whatever it's called now. Coors fucking Special or whatever. That's bullshit. Common Bond Lager from Molson. Yeah, no, I've never seen that. That FSOG was nuts. Yeah, that was the best beer we did at Beer Tuber Palooza. It was just an amazing beer. It was probably better than Tsukaba. It was pretty fantastic. It's from Revolution Brewing, and it's crazy to get to. Like I don't know. I couldn't believe that Matt's viewer sent it to us. That was fucking just unreal that he sent 2 cans of it too. I don't know. Blew my mind. He says, yes, I just happened to buy a 12-pack of 710 milliliter cans of Molson Dry today for $31 Canadian at petrol gas station 5 minutes from my house. Well, RIP to Guy. What is the ABV on Molson Dry? Like 10, probably 10+%? That's fucking, I don't want that. Adam says, Top Row Brewing by me has just released Shandy Savage, low ABV for your moderation and your shirt. Is that the place that does all the wrestling references? Obviously, with Top Rope being their name, I would assume so. Because I just want the cans. Like, I would love to drink the beverages, but like the cans that I saw were fucking insane. Like, sign me up yesterday type of shit. That is cool. I love the gimmick there. Nick says, yeah, I deleted my original comment, but it didn't delete it for you. You read it anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, see, this is where the StreamYard comes in. I did realize that too. Like when I'd be chatting along and I did delete stuff, you guys still were able to see it. Oh fuck. So Mike, the other half, see, that's how you do it, Mike. The other half of FLX Beer Review says, do you think it's going to storm this evening? I got to tell that story, don't I? I got to tell this. We'll tell the story once I catch up on comments. I feel like that story needs to be told. Shitty US Lager BA 101 on man. Yeah, I probably would just to fucking be able to join something. Nick's a stupid whatever software you're using. Yeah, StreamYard. It's fucking dumb. Eric says, yeah, dude, after working with consumers, you'll find out the fall shit shows up at the warehouse in July. Seasonal stuff comes out so damn early. Yeah, dude. It's gross when you walk into any kind of beer store, consumers, Premier, whatever, and there's fucking pumpkin on the shelves and it's like mid-July and you're just like, why? Like, they started doing that many years ago because the fall beers used to come out like around fall, like maybe a couple weeks before fall, but usually not until September. Then all of a sudden it was like August, then it was early August, then it was like middle of July. And then they got a little consumer lashback, but then I don't know. I feel like there's a bunch of fucking people that enjoy pumpkin shit in the middle of summer. I have never met one of those people, but they exist. So we're apparently doing it wrong. Adam with the quick grammar. I like it. Shout out to Redbeard. He'd be happy about that. Listen, I'm capable of understanding Adam. I do appreciate it, but like I'm really dumb, but I'm just not that dumb. Debatable. Dustin says Revolution barrel-aged beers are crazy good. I really enjoyed the Supermassive Cafe Death. Yeah, dude, every Revolution barrel-aged beer I've ever had has been terrific at the very least. Like they know Firestone Walker and them are two like, I won't say readily available, but like easily obtainable beers that you can get that they just knock out of the park more often than not when it comes to their barrel age program. I would love to have Revolution on the shelves here. Guy says it's 5.5% the Molson Dry. Very surprising light taste and seasonal. Okay. Let's see. Jamie says, hey, Joe, 2 new beer tubers. You should shout out some guy named Massive Matt and this new kid called Lee Russell. Well, I can't shout out Lee. He's the king of beer tube. He's been the established king of beer tube for a long time. And I won't shout out Massive Matt because I'm the king of mystery beers and I don't want to offend anybody. So like, come on. They don't need more subs. Okay. Nick says paid version of StreamYard looks different from mine. So shout out to Dan from FLX. He went the extra mile and bought like the fucking crazy one for like a lot of money. So it does 1080p and has all kinds of fancy gadgets and shit. So I'm using him. I'm going to pay him some money for it because I feel like a douchebag if I don't. But yeah, it's pretty fucking fantastic, honestly. I like it anyway. And I don't know shit because it's the first time I'm really using it. Adam says Molson Canadian Lager is over here in 4-packs on warm shelves in the discount stores. Mummy, I think he meant yummy. Maybe he meant mummy, though. Fun fact for me, Molson Canadian is the worst fucking lager I've ever had. Maybe not. That might be a bit excessive. Of the readily available ones, definitely my least favorite. Okay, so Keith says, I have a confession to make. I bought a pumpkin beer today. So this is like, is this going to be like a, this is like fucking story time? Are we going to get out our confessions? What are we doing here? You don't have to pay me for this, Keith. If you want me to talk you through it, I'll be like a shrink. I'll get you through it, buddy. What pumpkin beer did you buy though? That's the key thing. We got to know. Jamie says, also, please shout out Guy from drinking since this morning in Canada. Yeah, Guy's been hitting it fucking hard. He always hits it hard though. He's just one note, one speed go. Nice. Cheers FLX from Nick. Mike says, you look prettier on StreamYard than you do in real life. Fucking, I do. I look like a piece of shit in real life. On StreamYard, less of a piece of shit, still a piece of shit. Adam says, nope, meant yummy. But tardiness is Samsung autocorrect. I said autocorrect. I can't speak either, but autocorrect don't work. Yeah. Well, I got what you meant, Adam. I'm happy I figured it out. Eric Gilbert says Bolts Canadian is best avoided. Where's the fucking right there? This guy, he knows what he's talking about. Dustin says favorite pumpkin beer. Mine is Schlafly's Pumpkin Ale. If you're talking about like straight pumpkin ale, like a base like 6-7% pumpkin ale with spices in it and real pumpkin, no, like you can't cheat and be like pumpkin barley wine, pumpkin stout, shit like that. Probably one of the Elysian, Night Owl, or like the Great, I think it's called the Great Pumpkin. Night Owl is fantastic. Schlafly's though is definitely up there for sure. Is one of my favorite. Okay, so let me do quick story time about what Mike said earlier about, do you know if it's going to storm? So I've told this story, I think it was on Matt's channel, but so the FLX guys and myself, they got a Airbnb and allowed me to kind of go with them, tag along. Like I said, great guys, to the Beer Tuber Palooza. Well, if you guys don't know where Matt lives for Massive Beer Reviews, he lives in literally the middle of nowhere, New Jersey. Beautiful, picturesque, farm he lives on. All of his videos, with the background and everything, fantastic. But he lives in the middle of fucking nowhere. Okay, and I am not exaggerating. You can ask Mike, you can ask Dan, you can ask Kyle, you can ask any of these guys. Middle of nowhere, New Jersey. So your options for like Airbnbs or hotels very limited. Well, we ended up getting a Airbnb that we got the downstairs area. And Kyle from No Hype and the Nerd Sense guy, Sean and Mike, got the upstairs area. Well, when Mike, Dan, and I show up at fucking, we referred to it at this point, well, after the introduction, I referred to it as the murder house because there was no other explanation. But we roll up and we pass the house, and there seems to be a driveway that is just straight dirt on top, like a grassy patch that I was like, that can't be a driveway. Turns out it was. We'll talk about that later. But we go past the house. We get to the back. There's a 3-door garage in the back, just like kind of in the middle of nowhere, just kind of in the back. There's a huge like area of just stones down. So we're like, this has to be the parking lot. Like it has to be, or the driveway. So we park. As we're pulling up, Mike goes, is there like a young girl like skipping and dancing in the grass? And I said, yeah, I think there is. And he's like, is she the one that's going to greet us? And I'm like, I hope not. I don't think so. But we get out, Mike and I, we start approaching, like going towards the house. And she just like, she's skipping and making noises that we really can't like really identify what these noises are. She comes down and there's probably about what, Mike, would you say like a 3 or 4 foot drop where it was their backyard and then down into the driveway. Well, she's standing at the top of this. She's looking down at us and she goes, this is like straight out of a fucking horror movie. But she looks at us and she goes, whose name is the, whose name is the accountant? But she's talking like she's from like late 1800s England. Like she's like, who is the account name in? And Mike goes, Mike, and then said his last name. And then we asked her, is this the correct driveway? Because we don't know if we're in the correct driveway. She pauses for 5 seconds, and this is the question she asked us. I don't know how it pertains to anything that we asked, but she just goes, do you know if it's going to storm? I don't know how you respond to that. So I was just like, I hope not. Like, is this the driveway? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? And then she goes, you guys are in the basement. Go into the door with the yellow awning. Mike and I look at each other and we're like, grab the shit. Let's get the fuck out of here. We're going to get murdered. As she starts skipping away, she just starts making fucking weird noises that sound like this. She goes, I almost shit my pants. I almost pissed my pants. I don't know. I said at that point, there was a 50% chance we were going to die. That at some point was escalated into about an 83% chance. We all survived the weekend. but it was the house itself too was just set up in such a way that I didn't understand it. The room that I slept in was fucking a huge room. There was a single bed and 2 chairs in it. You could have fit like 8 people in there. Meanwhile, Dan and Mike are in this fucking tiny room with 3 different beds. I don't know. I thought we were going to get murdered. It was terrible. It was an absolutely horrific time trying to sleep there, but I just wanted to point that out because I didn't need that with my heart and shit. It was fucking terrible. We'll read the comments now. Aaron G says, you're back. I am Aaron. Aaron's one of the few guys, right? Aaron, you like the fall content, right? Oktoberfest, pumpkin beers, the whole 9. You're all about it. Key says, it was the Southern Tier cold brew coffee pumpkin nitro. Katie saw it on the internet and I bought it for her. We might review it when she gets home from work. So that's funny, Keith, because that is definitely one of the beers I'm reviewing for the 10 Days of Pumpkin, because I have reviewed every other Southern Tier pumpkin related, Warlock, whatever. And when I saw that release this year, I'm like, I have to do it because I do like the pumpkin series, and their cold brew coffee pumpkin is one of my favorites, probably my favorite from them. So I want to see how the nitro version is. Adam says, last pumpkin ale I had was from Matt's favorite brewery, Brewdog. I think it was called Pumpkin Jack. You know, they have the location here in Columbus, Ohio, and I don't think I've literally ever seen a pumpkin beer from Brewdog. So that's interesting. Eric's asking Dustin if he's had Southern Tier's Pumpkin or Warlock. Those are 2 of my favorite. Flying Monkeys makes one called Paranormal, which is a heavy hitter but tasty as well. That's probably my favorite from Canada is the Paranormal. It's 10% ABV, pretty big beer. Aaron G says, drinking a New Belgium Atomic Pumpkin for you. Nice. I did review that the year before, 2019, I think, and I was surprised at how much I liked that one. Like, I did like the heat with the spices and stuff. I thought it worked pretty well. I was actually quite surprised by that beer. Guy says, it's true. I've been interacting with girls drinking in Japan since 9 a.m. I've had a 2-hour nap. Well, you're ready for round 2, I guess, right? Tyler says, Shafley Pumpkin Ale is great. Picked up a few from O'Fallon today. Yeah. Oh, the O'Fallon I only had the vanilla one. It was really good. But the Shafley's is like, it's one of the better ones for sure. Eric says, Joe, we get Molson Canadian 67 XX Ice and Golden here. So there you go. You get actually a handful. I do know we get Molson Canadian. I want to say Molson Canadian Light I've seen in this area. I don't know how long ago it was, but yeah. So I just fucking hate most of the Molson products. I know I don't like Canadian. I know I don't like 67. I don't like the XXX. I have never had the Ice or Golden, though. I'm pretty sure. Adam says, drinking in Canada. Hopefully you haven't found Dancing Tiger Girls live stream yet. You guys just need to fucking not Pornhub, as far as I know. Well, maybe it is. Maybe that's where you guys are. Mike says, it was the friends we made along the way that helped us survive the murder house and not end up in a neighboring murder lake. Yeah, there was a lake too. A lake. I'm doing air quotes because this thing was the furthest thing from a fucking lake. Maybe if it was like Camp Crystal Lake and we were getting murdered by Jason, that'd be more of a description of it than whatever they tried to pawn it off as. Adam says, thanks for the recommendation. If I ever make it to Beer Palooza, I'll be driving an RV to avoid any Airbnb stabbing. There's a lot of things that you can exaggerate, and, I fucking do it all the time. That is not an exaggeration of what happened. The way she talked, the way she spoke, like her grammar, it was like she was literally from like the late 1800s, early 1900s. And it was, this is the question I had. Because later on, the mother came up to us and talked to us about the Airbnbs and whatnot. Why would you have, I would assume she was like 10 years old. Why would you have your young daughter approach anybody, strangers coming to your house to sleep there for the weekend at an Airbnb? Like, I'm not going to say it's bad parenting, but it was bad parenting. Anyway, Andy Engel says, glad to see you back online. Buddy was in Mass and was kind enough to pick up a Treehouse order. Working through those beauties right now. Well, Andy, I am also, stocked with Treehouse. This one was given to me by Steven, which is Trail, their Pilsner. But I went on a vacation to Saratoga Springs the week of, I think it was August. It was literally like 3 days after Beer Palooza. And Saratoga Springs is only like 2 hours from Deerfield, Massachusetts, where Treehouse has another location. So I picked up a mixed case of Treehouse and like it was like 4 or 5 of their like Imperial Stouts and different things. So there'll be a lot of Treehouse reviews on the channel over the next couple months. So I'm looking forward to, because I really haven't. I mean, obviously I've had all of these up here, like the Rainbow, and I've had probably like 20 Treehouse beers, but I've never had like enough where I could sit down and drink them over the course of like 2, 3, 4 weeks. So I'm going to be pretty happy to see what I'm working with. But that's awesome. You probably have a lot of the same ones that I do, because it seems a lot of their beers and a lot of their mix packs last for a couple weeks. Guy says, no, I found the YouTube Bangkok 112 channel instead of Vietnam Dancing Girls is my next year goal. Interesting. Keith says, does anyone make any smoked pumpkin beers? Need that shit in my life. I want to say they exist, Keith. They do. Only for you, buddy. Guy says, I'm missing Molson Golden, but heard it's not the same anymore. Isn't that what like we are supposed to say is like hipster craft beer nerds? Oh, the last batch was better. Oh, it was better 3 years ago. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say that about Molson Golden. I guess so. Dustin says, Eric, I've had both pumpkin and warlock from Southern Tier, and he just had a pumpkin the other day, actually. Cheers. Nice. Craig says, sounds like a ghost, that girl. That was what our reasoning was that she could have been a ghost. I'm still not convinced that she was actually human, and we got out of the murder house, though. Eric says, a real murder house would serve pumpkin beers. There was no pumpkin beers in our fridge, at least. So there was that was a good thing. Fucking pumpkin beers at a murder house. Adam is saying to Craig, I was thinking the same. Skipped off and disappeared into the mist. Yeah. Dude, like I said, it's not an exaggeration. That scared the shit out of all of us. We were like, what is happening? Bud says, props to Saratoga, buddy, my hometown. Oh, that's right. Fuck, you do live. Yeah, so went to Saratoga Springs. My dad's girlfriend's son lives there, and she was going to dog sit. And she didn't want to go by herself. And my dad was like, you want to come along? And I was like, why not? And then, of course, we were there for like a week. So I was looking at one day and I was like, oh, hey, Treehouse is only a couple hours away. Let's make the trek. So we did. And it was worth it. Let me tell you that. Eric Gilbert says Treehouse will be only second to other half. From what I've had between the two, Treehouse, their quality's better. Their consistency probably the same. I haven't had a lot of their like big ABV beers, like their stouts and whatnot. I have some, so I'd be curious to see how those are actually. Nick says Molson Triple X, the best beer name ever. Yeah, is it though? I don't think it is. Dustin says, I wonder what was at the bottom of that lake. The assumption I make, and you know what they say about assumptions, but the assumption I make was there was at least a dozen bodies at the bottom of that lake, of all from humans to animals to whatever. There is a lot of things going on. Paul says barrel-aged pumpkin or nothing, but Rum King is the real king. Rum King? Are you talking about the barrel-aged rum pumpkin? I think there's an actual beer called a rumkin that. Oh no, you're talking about Avery's. Yeah, that's right. But there's multiple Rum Kings. There's like one from a Minnesota brewery, I think one from a Southern brewery, and then the one from Avery. I don't know why I remember that. I shouldn't, probably because I drink too many pumpkin beers. Mercy says, at 69 Timber, they probably exist, but the brewer probably didn't intend for them to be smoked. I love that he called keep 69 Timber. Fucking fantastic. Andy says, did you have the Froth and 450 North collab? No, I didn't go out for it. The real truth is, Andy, I think you may be caught. I don't know if you've been watching the entire time. I think you just said you showed up recently. With my open heart and like being on blood thinners and stuff, like I have a lot of beer here, so I didn't feel like I should go get that because I don't know when I'm going to drink it. But I don't know. Did you get any of it? And I wonder if it's even still available. I don't know. I feel like that's probably a pretty sought after beer just because of the 450 North inclusion. I'd be curious to know if it's good or not. I would. So yeah. So what else? What else we going to talk about? Is there anything else? No, I don't know if there's much more to say. Yeah, I'm just happy to be back, to be honest with you. And I'm glad everybody who showed up today. If you watch us back on the replay and you have a question or comment or whatever, that's awesome. I'll definitely respond to it. I'm just happy I can drink beer and chill with other people who enjoy the same thing I do. I will say, like I said, the one goal I'm going to try to get to this year and then going forward is more live streams, because the interaction is really, let's be honest. I'll just be honest with you guys. I love having a beer tubing channel. Love having a YouTube channel. I have over 2,000 subs. I don't monetize my channel, although I'm thinking, so this is another thing I want to ask you fine folks out there. Do you, going forward, when I do post reviews and you do watch them, or even something like old reviews, do you get any ads on my channel? The reason I ask is Matt over Massive Beer Reviews did not monetize up until recently. And the only reason he monetized is people were telling him they were getting ads from YouTube on his channel without being monetized. And YouTube sent out an email, I think it was earlier this year, saying that, like, even if you don't monetize, we can still put ads on your channel and we just get the money, basically. So I don't monetize currently. And even if I monetized, I might make, you know, enough to put back the amount of beer I make in like 1 month or something, or buy in 1 month. But I will monetize my channel if you guys do get ads on my channel. I don't want that money going to YouTube because they don't fucking deserve it. Like, I don't deserve it probably, but like I deserve it more than YouTube does. So like if you see ads on my channel, I'm going to monetize it going forward, just because I don't want to see them make money that I could put back into the channel, even if it is, you know, only $50, $100, whatever it ends up being. Because any money I make on my channel is going to go straight back into it. Like, I think a lot of people would be surprised if somebody who posts, say, 5 reviews a week, if those people told you how much they spend on the beers they drink for the channel. I think you'd be surprised at how much you spend in a year. Of course, I'd probably buy those beers and drink them off camera. So it's not like I'm buying specifically for the channel, but like, I don't want YouTube to get ad money that I don't monetize because I don't really care. And I also would prefer you guys not to get ads because it makes the viewing experience better. But like, if YouTube's going to fuck around, I'm taking that money. Fuck that. So sorry for being angry, but that's bullshit. Eric says, the lake could be filled with headless dolls. Could be. Let's hope not. That would be fucked up. Eric then says, the other Eric Ellis, the Bills fan, the one who lives in Western New York, he says, there may have been a chance that the girl doesn't even exist and you were interfacing with the demonic spirit. Probably. I mean, like, again, I'm leaning towards her not being an actual human. Mike says, back to work. Great to see you back on the YouTubes, my friend. All right, Mike, take it easy, brother. Appreciate you stopping by like always, but we chat a lot. So Craig says, love you, brother Joe. Great to see you. Craig, whenever you're live streaming next, let me know. I'm going to try to fucking hop on. Adam says, cheers, Joe. Cheers, Adam. I'm glad you're here, Adam. Like I said, I see you on the UK guys shit all the time. Seem like a cool, chill dude. And that's why I asked you about your content, because I went to your channel and I knew you did the live streams, but I, didn't see any reviews. And I'm like, he's kind of like the UK version of me from like 2012, which I love. He says you could always monetize it and donate it to charity. I could do that. The thing is money wise, it's like, I don't want to, if the viewing experience is at any way, shape, or form, I guess, fractured because of ads, like, that'd be pissed me off, because I purposely don't monetize, so everything's fine. So like, if YouTube starts throwing ads on there, I'm monetizing. I'm not letting them steal the money, regardless of whether I put it back in the channel, give it to charity, whatever. Like, I don't want YouTube getting it. Eric says Canadian Light was discontinued as far as I know. 67 is also called Ultra in the homeland, Canada. Okay, well, that makes me feel better, because I haven't seen Molson Canadian Light in a long time, but I remember it being out there. Guy says, well, I drink and I'm French, so YouTube made my channel 18 plus, so money for me if I wanted. They made it 18 plus. Like, they made you go to 18 plus. I know, like, when you post videos now, you have to post if it's for children or whatever, but I didn't know they could force you to go 18 plus. That's pretty fucked up. Paul says, definitely staying at the Ghost House if the beer hangout is in the same area next year. I think we're in preliminary discussions, so to speak, which, the potential hangout's like 11 months away or whatever. But I think we're talking about doing it somewhere in the middle of New York. So it's more of a centralized location for everybody, like around the Albany area, whether it's actually in Albany, suburbs, somewhere around there. So I don't think you're going to be hanging out at the fucking murder house. Dustin says, cheers, Joe. Great to see you doing well. Look forward to the future of the channel. Thanks, Dustin. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it as well. Hopefully it's just as gross and terrible as it's ever been, because you can't expect anything less on the Beer PaTroll. Or I guess more. You can't expect anything more. Lee shows up, the OG King of Beer Tube. Joe finally sells out. Not yet. Lee, just hang on. Give me maybe like a week or two. I got to see if people get ads or not. Nick says, Joe drunk on beer tube bunnies. The fact that I have no BeerTube monies, and I'm stone cold sober right now. Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely drunk on it, Nick. I will be, though, at some point, right? The money is mine. Some Vegas vacation. I think Paul knows what I'm talking about. Typical. He is another corporate shill. That is right. I get so much beer sent my way from so many different corporations and breweries. It's unbelievable. Going for that Molson sponsorship, said no one ever, Nick. I don't think anybody. Craig says, I'm going next year, all being well. Dude, Craig, if you show up, you got to give me a proper warning. I don't want my valve to stop working halfway through our in-person interaction. So you can't just spring something like that on me. Guy says, someone at YouTube flagged a vodka video I made. Then I said kids shouldn't drink. So I was like, whatever, might as well keep it legal. Okay. Paul says, whatever house I go to will soon become a murder house. Yeah, that's the thing about Paul. You don't want to hang out with Paul when he's been drinking. There's a lot of processing and being almost killed with actual swords. And I can speak of that from firsthand knowledge and experience. Eric says, get that BeerTube cheddar. Yeah, I don't think it's that much, honestly. Oh, it would be nice if it was, but it's not money. Nice. Joe won the monies. The monies is his. He owns the money. Nice. Raining on your parade. Days of YouTube sending out money are coming to an end. Can't believe they ever did that. Must have been part of an evil plan. Well, I never got any money, so if it's coming to an end, it never started for me. So I'm into it. What's up, Raining on your parade? We be greedy as fuck, says Eric. To some degree. Yeah, so to some degree, I think a lot of people are. I don't know if that's necessarily you or me or people in general, but yeah, people are greedy as fuck. I try not to be. Oh, nice. Lee. Could always shill BB Barfly. Yeah, Nick, you piece of shit. I don't know why I'm mad at Nick, but he seems like a piece of shit to me. Paul says, almost forgot about the processing. Haha. Paul, that's one of the top beer tubing moments, as far as people I met ever. The fact that you were so fucking hammered after that late night Tsukaba that you tried to process videos and then you just went up to bed without saying anything. It was pretty fantastic. You were processing. Paul, what are you doing? Processing. For some reason, I don't believe you were, Paul. I don't believe you were. And now you don't even have to process, do you? That's the beauty. Watch that finger. Watch that finger. All right. So, yeah, this has been going for about an hour 15, which when you're by yourself, just talking and not reviewing a beer or hanging out with other individuals, it's usually, I don't know, it's hard to do. Because A, I'm not entertaining, and B, I just wanted to give you guys an update of what's going on. But yeah, so to make a long story even longer, I have survived open heart surgery. I'm on the way back to bringing back the channel. You should see content and whatnot rolling out mid to late September. Next month, the 10 Days of Pumpkin, which about 53% of the people who watch my channel are excited about, and the other 47 hate pumpkin beers. I'm probably going to do some Oktoberfest later this year, although the vast majority of the official Oktoberfest, German Oktoberfest beers that we can get in the States, I think there's only a couple that I haven't reviewed. So I'll see which ones I haven't reviewed and maybe review one of them. I'd like to review, and it's just probably OCD, I'd like to review Oktoberfest between the official, the 2-week or 15-day Oktoberfest celebration, the official one in Munich, Germany. Typically, it's like I said, it starts on a Saturday, ends on a Sunday, usually 2 weeks, I believe. But this year's is canceled, so I don't know what date it would have been this year. Probably, let's see, probably September. Now, let's see. I don't know. Would it be the 18th? Maybe the 18th? I don't know. I can't remember. But probably do some Oktoberfest, do some pumpkin beers, and just mix it up. Like I said, you're going to see more dual reviews, more live streams, stuff like that. So, yeah, if anybody has, I always say this, and sometimes I get it feedback, sometimes no, but if you have any suggestions for pumpkin beers you want me to review, feel free. I do have 3 separate playlists on my channel for each year of the 10 Days of Pumpkin. I don't re-review beers typically, and I'm certainly not going to re-review pumpkin beers just because they're fucking pumpkin beers, right? I don't need to re-review something I've already had. Most of them I had multiple times. So if there's a pumpkin beer that you think I can get that you want me to review, let me know. If there's any beer you want me to review, period, I'm game as long as I can get it without. It's crazy when you actually have a beer tubing channel. There are a lot of comments I get where like, hey, review this beer from blah blah blah, and then I look it up and it's a beer from like the middle of nowhere, Montana, and I'm like, that place doesn't get distribution. I'm not going to be able to review it. I'm not going to trade for it. It's just like, so when people want to suggest beers, I'm into it as long as like I can get it quite easily and I don't have to go to crazy lengths to grab it. And that goes for pumpkin beers, that goes for IPAs, goes for any style. Like I'm down to try whatever, but if I can get it, right? But yeah, Paul says, ooh, Three Floyds Oktoberfest is in my area now. You know what? We probably get that now too. I haven't. True story. I have not been to a beer store in probably like I went before my surgery because I hung out with FLX guys and we had some beers and I got like a mixed 6-pack. But before that, I have not been to the beer store since late last year. So all of my knowledge of distribution and whatever is fucking out the window because a lot has changed in the last 9 or 10 months. Adam says just ordered Hacker. And I said Pashore. I looked up the actual, but is it Hacker Shore? Hacker Pashore? I think it's with the P. That's what I saw, but I could be fucked. And like Weihenstephaner fest beers. I've had both of them, and they're both delicious, especially the Weihenstephaner. Craig says, great beers, Adam. Yeah, they are fucking delicious. Craig knows what's up. Craig always knows what's up. All Aboard says, review 1830 Hard Pumpkin Ale from Afghanistan. And even though I love the sarcasm, and that's the thing I like about All Aboard, she has some great sarcasm and jokes and whatnot, but like, it's not far off what people actually say. Like, it's like, hey, can you get this crazy fucking, barrel-aged Imperial Stout from fucking, Arizona? And I'm just like, the brewery just opened six months ago. Like, I can't, like, they don't even distribute outside of like their brewery. Like, no, like if you want to send it to me, I'm open to that. But like, I can't get my hands on it. But like, then they'll be like angry if I'm like, I can't. Oh, why not? Because I can't get my fucking hands on it. I'll tell you. So very interesting though when I get those comments. Yeah. So who else has showed up recently that I can pimp their channel? Lee Russell, Mr. Retired Beer Tuber, who came back under a new name. If you like maritime beer reviews, specifically from Nova Scotia, check out his stuff. Lee's a good dude. Tells you how it is. And he also has his They Must Be Destroyed on Site podcast. So if you like movie podcasts, Paul is sometimes on there. Makes the podcast infinitely worse, but he's on there. Who else showed up? Anybody? I don't think anybody else showed up that I didn't already mention that has a channel. If so, my apologies. He says, no, pronounce Shore. Okay. Hacker Shore. That's what I thought, but I could have swore you pronounce the P. It doesn't sound like you should, though. It definitely sounds like it should be Hacker Shore. Whatever. Regardless, it was a good beer. And Paul says he is good at ruining things. Yeah, no, he's correct. My favorite, if you're talking fest beers, I don't know what my favorite is, but if we just go all over Oktoberfest, Eyinger still to me is Eyinger's the fucking their Märzen is the champ. Ranger Prairie says drinking Goose Island tropical beer HOD 9.9% double IPA. Great end of the night sipper. Goose Island made a 9.9% double IPA that like you can get your hands on. Ranger Prairie. That's weird. Like I said, I'm really pumped to be able to go to the like beer store in the next week or so because I have no idea what anybody is distributing. Like a bunch of new breweries during the pandemic showed up, and like I don't fucking know. Like at this point, if I saw a fucking almost 10% double IPA from Goose Island, I'd give it a go just because what the fuck. Bear Hug was okay in 19-ounce cans too. What the fuck was Bear Hug, Paul? From who's that from? Again, I'm struggling. And I'm still lightweight. We got this 5% Pilsner, and I drank literally like half of it. So I'm sorry. It is what it is. The true test is this is warming up a lot, and no off flavors, and it's fucking delicious. He says it's on my channel. You think I'm going to go fuck into your channel and watch stuff, Paul? You're fucking crazy, bro. Crazy. I'll have to check it out, though. Goose Island Bear Hug, huh? Rainier Period says cheap, $2.39. Was that a 16-ounce can or a 12-ounce can? Or was it a 19-ounce can? Let's hope it's not a 19-ounce can. Yeah, Paul says Goose Island. Andy says, what's your go-to store? For me, Andy, it's Premier Gourmet. Ethan, the manager there, when I first got into craft beer, when they used to be on Delaware, he helped me a lot. Like back in late 2009, 2010, he was still the manager there. And I'm always felt like not obligated, but they have like the best import selection in the area. And yeah, I just go there. It's 15 minutes from my house. Another place I like that's hopefully coming back is Brewed and Bottled in Lewiston. Again, about 20 minutes from my house. Chris, the owner there, is fantastic, and he's supposed to be bringing it back before the end of the year. So those are my two go-to. I like going to Aurora Brewworks in East Aurora, but it's like a 45-minute drive. They have a lot of great stuff, though. I like just checking out Wegmans, too, like the mixed six-packs. Like that's always fucking cool just to see the different Wegman stores, like the selections they have. It's always fun to just see. Sometimes there's some crazy shit in those mixed six-pack areas. Craig says, did you have to throw away any IPAs while you were off the beer? No, because I didn't buy any. The last IPAs I drank a little bit older were Hop Butcher sent me stuff late last year, and I drank it like earlier this year before I started experiencing the heart symptoms. But yeah, the only IPAs I have right now are from Treehouse, which are relatively fresh. And then Steven, who came to the Beer Tour Palooza, gave me that box of beer. And I think there was like 6 in there. And I got like 3, and they're a couple months old. So it'll be like some of the first ones I review. But like I didn't buy any because I specifically knew that I was kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Dustin says Hop Juju is just as good as ever. Yeah, that beer is always fucking dynamite. The best version of Hop Juju I ever had was, I think they called it like... super fruited or super, I don't know. They put like clementines and like, I think it was clementine oranges in it. Clementine oranges. It was one of the best fucking double IPAs I ever had. It was fucking amazing. Scott, the Fuzz says, what's up, Scott? I can't believe you're on my channel. Like, I didn't even know it existed. Like, Nick barely knows it exists. The fact that he told you about it's fucking gross, but appreciated. Adam says, it's so weird with distribution now. We get Burley Oak here regularly. That's fucking crazy, dude. Like, Burley Oak doesn't get great distribution. As far as I know, like their Dreams, you know, the heavily fruited sours and shit, people would go nuts about them. Like, I think we've gotten Burley Oak like once or twice here in Rochester, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away from me at the one store. But like outside of that, nope. Scott says he just jumped on. Awesome, buddy. I'm glad you decided to watch my gross stream. But you're used to Beer Analysis 101, so you're used to grossness. Paul says, need to get up to Premier Gourmet to get more English brews. I've never seen Paul so happy in his life to be in a store where like the import section was like something that people cared about. He probably spent like $200, $300 on just nothing but English imports. It's fucking disgusting, but in the greatest way possible. Keith says, are you going to be doing some NA beer reviews now that you have to watch your alcohol intake? That's a great question, Keith, but fucking no. I don't care how far they've come with non-alcoholic beer. I don't have any real, I'd rather drink like a single beer than drink like 4 fucking non-alcoholic beers. I just have no interest. Once they get to the point where they taste as good as regular beers and there's a fucking bunch of different styles, maybe. But like right now, nah, bro. Rainy Eye Parade says that the Goose Island 9.9% tropical double IPA is in the 19.2 ounce cans. He's getting fucked up, yo. Fucked up. Paul says, damn right, big boy cans, 19.2 stovepipe all day. Holy shit. Wegmans on Alberta. So Andy says Wegmans on Alberta has other half. I found out by a happy mistake. Yeah, a lot of Wegmans are. So the FLX guys, Dan and Mike, especially Dan, he likes to call other half his shelfies, right? Like his shelfie beers. And that's because they literally show up at Wegmans and you can go buy 4-packs and shit. And it's pretty crazy because, you know, even a year ago, other half wasn't on shelves. And now they get distro everywhere. They have 3 breweries. It's like kind of insane, but it's great that we can get other half. Have you, Andy, been to the pop-up they do down at the Seneca 1 Tower? They've been doing the pop-ups. You can buy single cans of other half down there. And it's all their latest releases. I think they do it every single week. I have not, but I want to check it out. Nick says, in all seriousness, let me know if you're around some week. We'll do a BA 101 you can get. Yeah, for sure, Nick. Yeah, Nick, I'm definitely going to be on some BA 101s. I know with the pandemic and everything, you guys have been clearly, focusing on a lot of stuff you guys can, the handful of you that do it most weeks can get. I do miss being able to hop, the border and being able to maybe bring back, a handful of beers that I can do on the show. So yeah, if we can do, again, I get some distribution of Canadian stuff. We do get Flying Monkeys here for your information. I don't know if you guys have done like paranormal. I don't know what else you guys have done, but like we can figure something out. Dustin says super juicy. I think it was called. Yes, that beer is a fire. He says it's fire. Yeah, super juicy. It's fucking delicious. Rainier Prey says looking forward to blind mystery reviews. Yeah, we'll. Whenever people send them my way, I'll definitely be back on. The only thing is, here's the thing too, with mystery beers. There's two things that can affect my blood thinners in a negative way. And it doesn't happen for everybody, but it's cranberry juice or cranberries and grapefruit and potentially grapefruit juice. So anybody who sends me mystery beers, got to make sure that shit's not in there. And I just have to trust people who send it because I'm not going to drink something that could potentially, fuck me up for a mystery beer. But we'll see. We'll see. I need to have mystery beer sent at some point. So, we'll figure it out. Craig says we get so much more American stuff up here now. It's crazy. Yeah, I think it was on Harry's channel, but it was this past week. It was like Harry, Jake, Rob Hobzine. And a couple other guys. And I asked them, like, do you think we'll ever see like Verdant or Northern Monk or places like your Cloudwater show up here? Because you guys get fucking crazy distribution of American like hype stuff, like Other Half. You guys occasionally get Trillium and Treehouse. Rob just got a Hot Butcher beer that he reviewed. That's insane. Like, you don't see that. Like, the only time I've ever had like a Verdant, Cloudwater, and Northern Monk beer was when Collective Arts did their Collective Arts Festival up in Canada, and those guys specifically came over with like kegs, and I had it on tap. But I've never seen cans of that stuff. We just get your typical old school English stuff. I would love to see that stuff show up here. I don't know if it's ever going to, but it's disappointing because I'll see like you with like another half beer that you bought a single can of, and I'm just like, that'd be cool if I could go and buy a Verdant beer, a single can, like at my local place. But so many fucking breweries, it probably will never happen. Adam says, got Burley Oak, search and destroy the triple IPA for drinks with my buddy tomorrow. Now, Adam, you probably don't watch my reviews because they're ill-advised, but I've only reviewed a couple Burley Oak beers, and that was one of them. Probably about a year and a half ago, a friend of the channel sent off a bunch of stuff, like some dreams from Burley Oak, but that was one of them, and it was pretty fucking good. I liked it, so I'll be curious to see. Let me know what you think about that beer when you drink it. Andy says, never stopped down there, but was close when they had cream get the honey. So yeah, Andy, the double cream get the honey is probably top 5 beers from Other Half for me. I love whenever they release that beer, and I love that they do different variants. They did like a Citra version, I know. That beer is fucking fantastic, though. Honey and beer is hit or miss for me, but that's where it's at. Guy says, send us the Zimas. Yeah, Zimas all day. Tastes like alcoholic Sprite. Nick knows what I'm talking about. All Aboard says he used to get fucked up on old duels back in New Orleans. He had to drink about 800 of them just to get a little buzz. So I don't know how much of the intake fucking old duels. That's great. Wow, I haven't heard old duels in a long time, honestly. That was like one of the first non-alcoholic beers I ever heard about. It had to be fucking, 30 years ago? Paul says, all mystery beers from now on, all cranberry sours and grapefruit rattlers. And I will do it on camera. And when I am no longer able to review beers, it'll be your fault, Paul. And by your fault, I mean, it might be a blessing in disguise for people. They don't have to view my shitty channel. Paul says, the place I was great, crazy, fresh, good beer close, so my selection has definitely fell hard. That fucking sucks. What was the name of that place, Paul? Is that the one where you're getting all like the new trail and all that shit? Neon Raptor is being distributed by Untappd Arts. Holy shit. So we might see some Neon Raptor shit in the States. Is that what you're saying, Adam? Because I'm into it. Dustin says favorite hop. I guess that could, be a question for everybody, including people in the chat. If I had to pick, probably Citra or Galaxy. I know that's the fucking cheater hops, but like Galaxy produces for me that like sweeter pineapple. So when Galaxy is used right, I don't think there's a better hop for me. Mosaic's up there. I like some of the newer Southern Hemisphere hops, like Nelson was good when that first came out, and a well done Nelson Sauvin beer, like pretty fucking good. But yeah, there's so many fucking hops now. That's another thing too with not reviewing beer over like the last 9 to 10 months. There's so like Phantasm is a hop that like a lot of places are releasing shit. I've never had a beer with Phantasm in it. Strata, I guess. I don't know why I said Strata. What the fuck is wrong with me? My channel's I'm so bad. Strata, I've had it a couple times in some different beers, but like now that's like a super popular hop. Nick says LOL Zima. You know what I'm talking about. We reviewed that at Brewed and Bottled, like outside the front of their building. Nick, that was fantastic. Adam says your review is in my watch list after I drink it, so I don't have any preconceptions. Cool, nice. I'll be curious to see what you think about it. Paul says saw duels today at the distro. It's still around. Nick says supposedly the Athletic Brewing Company won a bunch of awards at the U.S. Beer Cup for NA beers. Yeah, I know Matt has, I think, had a couple beers from them that he's really enjoyed. I don't fucking have any interest. Nick says cheater, pumpkin beer drinker. You piece of shit, Nick. Bloom Brew, that's where we got the Thin Man, Single Cut, and Lone Pine. Yeah, I'm surprised at how quickly Thin Man has distributed their shit. Like they're like down in the Carolinas. Like they're getting down into the South. Like I think in Georgia as well. Like insane to me. Adam likes Talus. Nick says, I would have thought your favorite hop would be Sabro, coconut, baby. Here's the thing about Sabro. Some breweries do it correctly, and Sabro is probably one of my favorite hops. And I like coconut, don't get me wrong. But for me, I prefer, and this sounds bad, but I prefer that fucking toasted coconut barrel presence in beers more so than actual coconut in beer and like coconut character from a hop like Sabro. So while I do like Sabro a lot, some breweries do not use it correctly. Some breweries use it and don't even get any coconut. And I don't like the flavor as much as like a barrel age kind of, impact. Just personally speaking. Mine is Galaxy, but have really gotten to like Strata a lot lately. I could see that for sure. Yeah, Galaxy is definitely up there. Paul says, if pressed, I'd still say Amarillo. Yeah, Amarillo, I just did, you'll see it on the FLX guys' channel, but we did Queen Machine Amarillo from Treehouse. So it's like their Queen Machine is a series of beers where they just use lupulin powder. And the Amarillo one, it was really good. It basically gave you like fresh orange. Like it was just like fresh orange juice. It was so fucking crazy. Eric Gilbert coming in with Fuggles' son. Like he's from fucking 1974, but Fuggles in a well done, like old school English brew of some sort. Right? Hard to beat. Nick says, yeah, I remember Zima, the Sprite of booze. Yeah, it's fucking delicious. JW says, Equilibrium Brewery forever. Here's the thing. I really like what Equilibrium does. They turned me off early in the pandemic when their fucking beers were showing up locally here. And I'm in Buffalo, and Equilibrium, the brewery's probably like 5 hours from my house. But the fact that we're in the same state, whatever. But they were sending beers that they were charging like $20 to $24 at the brewery for a 4-pack, like $32 here. They had a lower ABV beer that I think was like $18 at the brewery. That was like $26 4-pack here. I have heard since that they've kind of corrected their pricing. And you can get it shipped straight from the brewery in New York State for the prices you will pay at the brewery. And I think it's like a $15 flat rate for shipping in New York State. But I was really pissed off when they showed up and their shit was fucking $8 to $10 more than what you charge the brewery. I understand you go through distro and all that stuff, but that was crazy. I didn't see that from other half. I didn't see that from a lot of breweries in New York State that did that. So they make great beer. Don't get me wrong. I love Equilibrium. I mean, I got them on my fucking wall, pretentious wall of bottles and cans. And I love them, but fuck, that pissed me off. So hopefully they figured it out. You know what I mean? He says, I myself do not go around alleys licking cat urine dispensers, but they still use Simcoe hops to make beers these days. That's the beautiful thing about Simcoe. Like, again, and this goes for any hop. If it's done right, you get certain characteristics. I've had Simcoe beers that, are just fucking straight cat urine, cattiness, whatever you want to call it. And then I've had other Simcoe beers that are just like stone fruits and tropical fruits, like mangoes and things of that nature. Like it definitely, and it depends what Simcoe hops you're using, from what area you're getting them from, and what form are you getting from. So the old school Simcoe, though, if you had a Simcoe beer from like 10 years ago, yeah, it was definitely dank and catty, as they like to say. Tyler says Thin Man in North Georgia. Yeah, so Tyler saw a beer like in a bin. Was it like a cheap bin, or was it like a marked off, right? Because it was an older can. And like the fact that they're in northern Georgia is fucking. I mean, they're a brewery that opened up like 5 years ago, and they're not that big. Like I didn't think big enough to get down in northern Georgia. Craig says we get Thin Man beers. So the fact that they get Thin Man beers over the pond in the UK is fucking absurd to me. I just don't understand. Like, it's awesome, but that's fucking weird to me. It's weird. Adam says, yes, Idaho 7 and Talus are joint favorites at the moment, closely followed by Sabro. Again, I don't know if I've had a Talus beer, Talus hopped beer. I've had Idaho 7 plenty of times. I've had Sabro a lot. Have you seen any Talus beers? Anybody that's in the States? Have you had any beers with Talus in it? Paul says Fuggles of, dirt and copper coins, baby. That I love that. And East Kent Goldens. Yeah. A lot of those old school UK hops, the fucking East Kent Goldens and the Fuggles and the dirtiness and the copper coins and all that stuff. If you like that shit, that's your jam. That's Paul's jam. Adam says yes, and single cut as well now, but they are very expensive. Single cut's pretty expensive here too. Like they always sell their shit in like single cans, and it's always, going back like 5 to 7 years ago when they were getting a lot of hype, like their cans would be $5 to $7. I'm sure it's even more over there, but single cut makes a lot of good beer, but I've had a lot of misses from them too. But when they hit, they do really well, but again, hit or miss. Dustin says, I'm with you 100% on barrel presence, like coconut, more unique too. Yeah. I mean, I didn't really start realizing it until probably like 2 or 3 years ago, but then because I like I like the actual fruit coconut, but the toasted coconut barrel presence that I get in a Sukaba or a Parabola or Bourbon County or a beer like that, it's just, even though it's not real because it's just from the barrel itself and it's a perceived tasting note, it's still better than real coconut and beers for me. It's I never thought I would think that, but like I've had so many different coconut beers, and again, Sabro and so many different IPAs, and I like the coconut character, but like when you get the barrel presence of toasted coconut, maybe it's just how the perceived toasted coconut kind of character melds with the base beer, which is typically like a big imperial stout or a barley wine or something like that. Maybe it just all wraps it up in one great package for me, where maybe I just don't enjoy it as much in like hop forward beers. Adam says Sabro and Sriracha Ace Stouts, please. Sriracha Ace Stouts. Holy shit, dude. I remember when Sriracha Ace came out, I think like Brooklyn did a big Sriracha Ace beer, and that was like, oh man, it's the new, it's all lemon and stuff. And I have not seen a lot of beers that use that hop anymore. Paul says, interesting, Adam. JW says, Academia Brewing Company forever, parallel shift, amazing. Where's Academia from? I'm kind of out of the loop lately just because let me see how Athens, Georgia. Okay. I would love to try stuff. Like it's so many fucking breweries. It's cool though. Adam says Equilibrium is now nearly cheaper here than some of the UK breweries. That's fucking crazy. Which Paul says crazy. Yeah, that's insane. JW says thanks, got it. Tyler says singles. That was the Thin Man. Nick says, oh yeah, Idaho 7. Tasty. Nick, how many beers have you had with Idaho 7? You probably have had them from what's the brewery by you that I like? Starts with the T. Trailway? Trailway's the one. Have they done some? And then Paul comes in with New Trail uses Talus. Okay. Dreamcast says, when will you get when will you get a flag for your Joe blending in background? This thing, dude, it's been so long. I don't know. At some point I might start throwing like stickers and shit behind me because it is kind of just like, it's just a boring background. But I don't worry too much. You don't come to my channel for production value. Let's just say that. Craig says they cut all of the East Kent Goldings and Fuggles this week for the annual green hop ales. Nice. Paul, The new Firestone anniversary ale is extremely imperial stout forward. I didn't get coconut this year from it, dude. Every single anniversary ale I've ever had from them is fucking fantastic, and I always get coconut. So that is, are you saying that Firestone Walker might be falling off? Because it sounds like it might be. Adam says Talus beers, I get big can tangerine flavors. Fucking sign me up, dude. Tangerine's delicious. JW says Athens, Georgia. Oh, yeah, so that there are like Monday Night Brewing's another brewery that I like to try. What's the other like hyped Georgia brewery? I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I wanted to try stuff from them, but like just don't get stuff from them. Paul says, so far, so do I. Adam talking about Talus. Nick confirms that it's Trailway, and then he said, yeah, Green Island, New England IPA uses Idaho 7. Didn't I have Green Island? Pretty sure I did. So, yeah, Idaho 7, it's funny because, you know, new hops pop up every year, and a lot of them are almost all of them are former experimental hops. Like they'll be HBC, whatever, and then they'll actually get a name. But I feel like a hop like Idaho 7, like initially had a lot of, I don't even say hype, but like people were excited. They were using everything. And then I just don't see it that much in beers anymore, like Idaho 7. It's very, very rare. And I think Tyler hit the nail on the head here. Creature Comforts in Athens is great. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah, Creature Comforts. Yeah, there's so many fucking breweries now. It's insane, dude. It's mind-boggling how many breweries are just like it used to be when I first got into craft beer. So again, late 2009, early 2010, we're talking 11 years, almost 12 years ago. I could go to Premier Gourmet, my bottle shop of choice back then, and for pretty much to date, I could go into that bottle shop and I could get a mixed 6-pack of the new releases for the week, and I could try everything. And then at some point, it was like I have to get a mixed 12-pack to get all the new releases. Now, if I want to go and get the new releases at my local, it's at least a fucking entire 24-pack of case. It might even be more at this point. And there's so much distribution, which is a great thing because as consumers, we have choices. But for someone like me, it's hard to make that choice. When I go into a fucking bottle shop and there's so many new beers, it's like, what the fuck do I grab? What do I grab? And it's awesome to have that choice, but it's also, it's a struggle. The struggle. First world problems, right? Eric says, I had an IPA from New Zealand and holy fuggles hopped. It was sucking the hop vine roots. Sounds intense there, Eric. Let's see here. Nick says, pretty sure you had Green Island. I brought double DDH. Gotta love craft beer and acronyms, right? DDH, IPA. It's great. And he said he brought it to the Well and Piss Up. Yeah, I think you even gave me a can and I shared it with my buddies off camera. Paul says, did we have Green Island on the 10th? I want to say Nick brought Trailway the last couple times we had the Well and Piss Up and on the 10th. I'm almost positive. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. JW says Wild Leap Brew, LaGrange, Georgia. Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't think I realized they were in Georgia though. That's the thing. A lot of breweries in Georgia I've heard about, and like I said, Creature Comforts, Monday Night, for sure. Then there's a shit ton of like breweries in like North Carolina that people go crazy about. Adam says had a couple of Wild Leap beers. Brewdog and McKellar import them. They were pretty good. Nice. The fucking it's so cool, but man, it's strange to me. Like Adam's in the UK, and he's like, oh yeah, I totally got Wild Leap beers over here. You know, Brewdog and McKellar just fucking import them. They're pretty good. And I'm over here like I can't, like Wild Leap doesn't distribute to fucking anywhere near where I am, and it's like I'm in the US. It's not jealousy, Adam. It's jealousy. Tyler says Wild Leap is awesome, so another confirmation of they make good beer. Nick says, I might have brought one to the 10th, but not sure we drank it. We had something Trailway. Yeah, that's the problem with bottle shares, right? You bring a lot of stuff to them, and a lot of stuff doesn't get drank, and you just give it away or you bring it back home, and it's just like always too much beer. I mean, this year at the Beer Tour Palooza, I only brought like 12 beers for people to like review and drink. Like it wasn't a lot considering we drank like 2 straight days. I think we reviewed like 2 of the beers I brought, and like the rest of them just went home with other people. Like it's just too much beer. Got to be smarter. Tyler says, I have reviewed several. I'll have to go check some of them out. It was probably older reviews before I started following you, Tyler. So I'll have to check that out because I am curious about the Wild Leap stuff. Paul says, did you bring an other half to on the 10th? If not, then I still haven't had anything from them. I probably did, Paul. I don't remember. Dude, those are all fucking blurred. Like, I have no, like, you can't ask me specific years what we brought to bottle shares when we all got fucking hammered. Like, it's not fair. JW says, what's your favorite IPA and why? That is a fucking crazy question. If I had to answer, this is going to be a cop-out because I don't have really a favorite IPA of like a favorite series. So other half, Pretentious Wall of Bottles and Cans. So other half, bottom 7 beers, or I can't, 7. They have their Citra Daydream or Citra Dream series. Their Citra Daydream, their double Citra Daydream, their triple Citra Daydream. Those are all fantastic beers. They're rotating offerings. The Citra Daydream at 6%, I could drink fucking all day, every day. Probably my favorite beer. But at this point, there's been so many. I'd have to go fucking to Untappd. I have to go look at my reviews. That's a really hard question. Eli B says, what's up? Love your videos, bro. Thanks, Eli. I appreciate it. I am just talking about bringing the channel back. And if you want to watch some of the replay or rewind or whatever, I talked about the reason why I haven't posted content pretty much in the last 10 months. But the channel will be returning in the near future. So keep an eye out. Nick says, I brought a bunch of Trailways to the tent, but they didn't get drank or reviewed. And Chris wound up drinking them like he drank my Chocoveza. That makes sense. JW says, LOL. What is that in reference to, JW? Was that me saying that was a difficult question? Adam says, but they don't get, wait, yeah, wow, I almost missed the comment. Not even drunk, almost missed it. Said, yeah, Wild Leap are just in fridges at Brewdog's bars, but they don't get more than 1 or 2 varieties. But they get Wild Leap. They get it, Adam. It's bullshit. Mr. Munoz TV, what's up, buddy? He says, welcome back, Joe. Cheers. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Check out his stuff. He does like beer and music, like old school hip hop, new school hip hop, like mix and match. I like the vibes on Mr. Munoz's channel. So check him out. Good dude. Eli says, favorite sour? Fuck me. Sideways. Depends. I don't know. Nowadays, just saying sour to me is difficult because you got the fucking heavily fruited sours that aren't beer, even though they are, but they're not really because you can't taste anything. You just taste fruit puree. Then you got like Truded style sours. There's I don't know. I don't think I could answer that at all. Paul says he subbed to South 10. Cool. So there you go, Tyler. Check out the Beer PaTroll live stream. You get a sub. I think that's like your price for just looking and watching the stream. JW says LOL again. JW's just enjoying himself tonight, drinking fucking amazing Georgia beer and just having a ball. That's what I'd like to be doing. Tyler, thanks, Paul, for the sub. He says, okay. Craig says, heading off now. Take care, Joe. Thanks. So for Craig and Adam and all these guys, it's fucking almost 3 a.m. So like the fact you stayed up, Craig and Adam, like really cool. I appreciate it, guys. You take care, Craig. We'll be talking soon, buddy. Like not in person yet, but like, through the interwebs. JW says IPA. So yeah, he was laughing at my struggle, probably. I don't know, dude. There's so many fucking beers. Like when people are like favorite specific style or even favorite beer, like the only reason when someone asked me my favorite beer earlier and I said Tsukaba, that's just because it really hasn't been knocked off its throne, like officially. But specific styles and shit, fuck, man, I don't know what I'm doing. Like there's just too many beers. Guy says, best any IP for me has to have spruce, like the one Lee sent me 8 years ago, and the one I got from Nita Brewing. Just want to taste the tree. So basically, Guy loves old school fucking West Coast IPAs, like sucking on a pine cone old school, which I'll tell you what, I love hazies. And I know Paul's the same way. I'm sure Adam's the same way. And a lot of people here love the new school hazy New England style IPAs. But am I wrong saying that the appreciation for West Coast IPAs is growing more by the day because there's such a lack of production of them now? So when I get a West Coast style IPA now, I like it way more than I did, say, 5 to 7, 10 years ago. Like it's fucking one of those things where in my mind, it's like, breweries just don't create this style that much anymore. So when I get it, it's like a fucking punch to the taste buds. It's not the same, super tropical, fruity, juicy characteristics. It's like, oh man, that's what like grapefruit tastes like. That's what pine tastes like. Oh, I get the malt backbone. Like I get caramel and shit. It's just it's a great experience. And it's weird to say that because that was what was at the forefront, in the early 2010s. Like when I was getting into IPAs, it was like West Coast was, the king. So it's always fun getting those nowadays. Like it really resets the palate. And I do have more of appreciation of West Coast styles now. Mr. Munoz says, thanks, brother. I only pimp the channels that I actually enjoy. And I do enjoy yours. I think you bring something unique to the table, So I'm glad you're here. And you took a break too for a while, and you've been posting on Instagram and YouTube a little bit more lately. So awesome to see. Adam says, cheers, Craig. I should go. Need to be awake in less than 6 hours. Well, let me tell you something, Adam. The worst thing you could do is tomorrow I'll be like, man, I wish I would have got more sleep, but I was sitting there watching Joe's fucking live stream. That you just don't want that because you're going to regret it. I would regret it. Let's just say that. But I do appreciate you hanging out, dude. Like I said, it's fucking late for you. I'm always impressed by the UK guys, and when they jump on our streams at 7, 8 o'clock, and I'm like, holy shit, it's midnight there. It's 1 a.m. and they're still fucking down to drink beer and chat. Like, fuck, man. I'm a lightweight in comparison. It's all right. Eric Gilbert, old school Belgian sours. Yeah, they're fucking good. I kind of got into sours because of old school Belgian sours. There's not a lot you get in the US, but the ones you do get, a lot of them are delicious. Dustin says, great content to watch here while having a few. Well, I appreciate it, Dustin. I don't have the best content in the beer tubing community, but I'd like to think I don't have the worst. I guess it's debatable, but do what I can. Again, when you do a live stream and you're by yourself, you guys are the reason why this is content and why we're having a chat, because I'm reading your comments. Without your comments, I would just for like the 8th time be like, oh yeah, guys, the content's coming back. I already fucking said that 8 times, right? Like I can't say much more. So having a chat, favorite beers, whatever, just talking about different breweries and stuff, that's why we're still chatting. So I appreciate all the comments and the questions and everything, because otherwise this would have been ended about 45 minutes ago, which you might argue it should have been ended 45 minutes ago. Anyway, Nick says, oh man, I miss Garrison Spruce beer. Fuck, man. I remember Lee sent it to me, one of the first beer mails he returned to me, even though I told him he didn't have to send me anything, and he sent me it. And it's been a long time. But that was probably like 2013 or 14. It's been a long fucking time since I've had that beer. Eli says, okay, narrowing it down. Favorite smoothie style. Doesn't have to be sour. I'm going to probably review it on the channel because I actually got cans of it. But Mortalis's Berries and Cream, they're Cerberus. I have a can of it left in the fridge. It's basically 3 different, I think it's raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries with like marshmallow and then, sour base. It's my favorite smoothie style beer that I can think of. And I had a can of it or a taste of it at Beer Tuber Palooza, and still my favorite smoothie style. It's just, I love fucking berries and throw some marshmallows in there. And unlike a lot of the smoothie styles where it's just like fruit puree and nothing else, it actually has a nice firm, like sour, like tart to sour base, like borderline tart to sour. So for me, that's where it's at. Adam says, I love black IPAs when they're done well, but I think they're unmatched and they're usually done poorly. I would agree with that. I've only had a handful like really good black IPAs. I always feel like the balance to actually call you, like where's you need the beer to actually have IPA characteristics. So many of them come off as just like a really bittering imperial stout. So like, I feel like you are correct in that they have to be done well. And I feel like the balance has to be there. It's like, I need actual characteristics from the hops that you're using to tell me it's different than just a really heavily hopped imperial stout or like a Russian imperial stout. And not a lot of breweries do that right. Dustin says, I will always respect West Coast IPAs. It just hits home some days. I like them better than New England. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the day, but I definitely have grown very fond of them. And I have more of an appreciation over the last, say, 3 to 5 years of West Coast style IPAs. Anytime I get one, I always say to myself, like, why don't I buy more of them? Then I quickly realize not a lot of breweries do West Coast styles. You have your classics that are like shelf turds, that are delicious. Like you could go get Torpedo. Okay. Torpedo is kind of an old school West Coast style IPA. I can't find relatively fresh Torpedo like in my area from Sierra Nevada. I just can't do it. Same thing with the Pale Ale. Like I would probably buy those as like fridge beers more often if I could just find them fresh. And even though they have 2 different breweries, it's like I never can. Oh, that's another one too. Tim Trim Tab in Birmingham. I've heard really good stuff about them too. Yeah. Echo into the Abyss, he says. Double IPA, it's excellent. Yeah. Trim Tab, I've heard there's so many. I want to try more stuff from Parish. I've never had Ghost. I've never had Ghost in the Machine. I've told this to Tyler, but like I just have never like tried to trade for it or whatever. And people love that beer. They love the double dry hop version. I've never had Ghost in the Machine and to try at some point. I've never been more excited when I find a West Coast style brew now. Yeah, it's so fucking difficult to find. Like, I don't know. Like, other half has done a couple. Some other like hype places have done it, but I feel like I hope more do, because I feel like you need more selection of like old school IPAs. Eric Gilbert says my favorite beer is Alpine. Bullshit, Eric. Get the fuck out of here. What is that? Phil's Du Roy from New Brunswick makes a good spruce beer too, but not as memorable as Garrison's. You don't see spruce beers too often in the States, Nick. Like the first time I ever heard spruce beer was honestly from Garrison. There have been a couple that I've seen, but it's very rare. Adam says there's no beer style I hate. Pale lager to struggle with, but I can appreciate. Yeah, at this point, I can say I probably can find a beer within every style that I at least tolerate. There are some styles that just don't excite me, and I just don't really care for them. I was talking to Keith from 93 Lumber, who's been in the comments. We were going to be on Matt's chat. Matt was going to do the Great American Beer Fest Awards for tonight, and we were going to do like a live chat, and then I was going to come over here and do this. And Keith and I were talking. I was like, I still have struggle with smoked beers, especially like heavily smoked beers. But like over here, you got the Sri Lanka, right? I know I'm butchering that. It's okay. But both of those I have come to appreciate to some degree. Like I can tolerate them. I can even say that I enjoy them. But I think smoked beers for me are still it's just tough, man. It's just especially if you get like the real heavy smoke flavor that gives off like Band-Aid-esque or like burnt plastic. Fucking count me out. Count me out, bro. Eli says opinion on seltzers. What kind of seltzers? Are we talking the heavily fruited seltzers? Or are we talking like fucking White Claw? I personally don't like seltzers because the carbonation, the aggressive carbonation reminds me of Alka-Seltzer. And I fucking hate Alka-Seltzer as a kid whenever you take it for like your stomach and whatnot. So for me, it's just one of those things where it's a memory that in my mind, I hate that aggressive carbonation. I don't like regular, like just seltzer water. I much prefer regular water. So just not for me. Even the heavily fruited ones, I get that fucking really aggressive carbonation on the back end, and it kind of ruins it for me. So Nick says, but Joe, that's what coffee is for. What is coffee for? Did I miss something? I'm probably just, I don't. And that wasn't Nick, that was Adam. Okay, never mind. Gotcha. Just ignore me in general. JW says West Coast style dippas are great. They are. Eli B, stop swearing. That's blasphemy. You fucking swear all the fuck you want, all right? This is the Beer PaTroll. We're not monetized. Nobody cares. Scott says he took a 2-liter growler from Phil's Du Roy of that, and it went down smooth. Nice. Andy says, got to support the local Buffalo guy. Go Bills. Nice, Andy. I'm a Seahawks fan, although I do root for the Bills, but I feel like the Bills are going to fucking be pretty fantastic this year. I did draft Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs on my main fantasy team, so they better not fucking let me down. Andy says, the Mortel Strawberry Kiwi Starburst was amazing. Didn't they just release that this past week? I wanted a can of that, but I wasn't able to go to it, so fuck. Adam says we also get Mortalis here now. Yeah, I mean the fact you guys get Mortalis is fucking gross. Like whatever. And I know, and I saw, was it who was talking about? Was it Harry talking about Mortalis or whatever? And it's like I get it. I'm over the argument of whether it's beer or not, because let's be honest. At the end of the day, it is beer. The base is a fucking sour. They actually brew it. Is it necessary? Probably not, and that's why a lot of places are coming out with the heavily fruited seltzer. So I get it. Like you're kind of in most of the heavily fruited sour ales, the ale portion is kind of fucking doesn't even matter, right? That's why when I get a heavily fruited sour ale that you can actually taste the base, beer to some degree, whether it's like a doughiness or something from the malt, or you get like a firm tartness from the lactobacillus they're using or whatever, I get excited because it's like it's not just fruit puree and fucking, you know, in a glass of carbonation. But I hope that places still continue to use beer as a base for those, just because I fucking hate seltzers and I just couldn't get into it. Let's see. Ewart says, aka Technomiri says, hi, Joe. And then he follows that up with, go fuck yourself, Joe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is old man Ewart, bringing knowledge to all of us at all times. Eli says, what's HS Squidward seltzer is sour? It's seltzer. Hard, can't even finish the word. Yeah, the seltzers aren't for me in general. I fucking hate them. Paul says torpedo, the can is definitely better than the bottle. I think I've had it in both, and yeah, I mean, usually when it comes to IPAs and whatnot, it is. I don't know. It's funny because nowadays, you know, with cans and whatnot, no lights. You know, you're not going to get light struck. The oxidation is going to be better. But remember when people used to look down at cans? You're like, I want it in the glass bottle. Kind of like when it comes to soda pop, like a glass bottle of Coke is better than like the can. But now it's like cans are all the rage, and I'd much rather have it in a can. But Tyler says, I can get you Ghost, Joe. Well, then we will be doing some trading in the fall. Then Tyler is what we will be doing, because I need to try it. And then Ewart follows that up with Ghost in the Machine is excellent. The fact that a guy in Southern Ontario has had Ghost in the Machine, I haven't. That's all I need to say. And then Dustin says double dry hop Ghost in the Machine is insane. And then Tyler says double dry hop Ghost is just ridiculous. You guys are all pieces of shit. I just want you to let you know right now, live on camera, you guys are all assholes in the best way possible. But I'm not jealous. Not jealous, not at all. Ewart says Garrison makes the only half decent spruce beer anymore. Shorts had a good one, but not sure if they still make it. That's right. Shorts is the other one. I'd imagine they do, Ewart, but they fucking release so many beers. I don't know if that's a. Ewart says, is Surly Smoke still a thing? Wax bottle, baby. It probably is a thing, Ewart. It's probably in like a 16-ounce can, and they probably sell it for 1/4 of the amount they used to sell it for. Ewart says, I detest seltzers. It's for peasants like vodka. Oh, shit. Those are fighting words, but at the end of the day, I can't disagree with the man. He is true. He's speaking the truth, no doubt. Tyler says we have some more talents in northern Georgia, because apparently northern Georgia just gets distribution of all the fucking Western Europe breweries for some reason. Just randomly, I guess. Maybe there's like one dude from like Buffalo that is down there, just like, bring in the Mortalis and the Froth and the Thin Man and the Big Dicks. Just bring it all down here. Nick says seltzers too mainstream, needs to be barrel aged at least. There's got to be barrel aged seltzers, right? And then, of course, the old HTML. Fucking Ewart. Paul says at some point, hopefully, can try a Surly Darkness. Yeah, I've always wanted to try Darkness. I feel like that's probably a great beer. Dustin says, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. Best news I've heard all day. If I call you a piece of shit, Dustin, if anybody in the comment section or my viewers gets called pieces of shit, that's how you know you're in the good graces of the Beer PaTroll. I only call people I like pieces of shits. Plural. Like plural. Pieces of shit. Pieces of shits. You were making a WWE reference here with I Speak Our Truth. Been watching a little bit too much wrestling with your son there, Ewart? I mean, it's all right. And then Nick says, you speak to Ruth. Oh, boy. I think we ended there. Did we end it there? I feel like we should probably end it there. It's been 2 hours. It's been over 2 hours. I don't have much more to say other than thanks to everybody who has posted today, who has chatted along. Like I said, this would have been probably done about an hour ago, but had some good conversations, good questions, good everything. And I'm definitely going to be doing this way more in the future. Probably bring on some guests and whatnot. I mean, the one thing that I've realized from live streaming is that doing it by yourself is cool for like a little bit. Once you run out of fucking things to say, or like today, like I wanted to talk about my surgery, wanted to talk about the channel comeback. Once that's gone, you guys kept it going. So I appreciate everybody who joined into the comment section. Shout out to, I've already shouted out everybody, but like double shout out to everybody. Go check out everybody's channel. fuck it. I'll rehash just because. Go check out Nick from Maxwell Stars Beer Reviews. He does the Beer Analysis 101. He sometimes does reviews and posts them. Go check out Mercy Beers, even though he really doesn't have content. Who knows? Maybe someday. He's on other UK beer tubers like Harry from Blue Nose and Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, who was here. Check his stuff out. Tyler from South 10 Beer Reviews. Guy from Drinking Canada. Paul from PA Brew News. Who else am I missing? Is there other PA? There's probably missing a bunch of people. I don't know. I'm still fucking going all the way back. The great thing is there's a lot of other beer tubers, but there was a lot of just people who don't even have channels that were posted today. And thanks to everybody who has posted. Andy, Dustin, JW. Who else am I missing? Holy fuck. Eli. Eric Gilbert. Old School. Mr. Munoz TV. Check him out, as I said. I think I got everybody. I don't know. We'll read the last comments and then holy shit, there's a lot of comments. The comments never stop. Dustin says, I'm honored to be a fellow piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit too, Dustin, so it's how it goes. Ewart says, fucking Nick ruins everything he does. Guy says, I am a point of sale. Adam says, to annoy Joy even more, I get a load of Texas beers last week from UK beer shops. That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said, so, fuck you, Adam. I can't believe you get so much cool beer. I'm not jealous at all. Not even a little bit. Never would be jealous in my entire life of you getting great beer in the UK. Tyler says, cheers, Joe. Looking forward to hanging out in the collabs with you. For sure, Tyler. We'll definitely do some stuff. No doubt. Nick says, good show, Joe. Cheers. Well, thanks, Nick. Cheers from Adam. Thanks from JW. Paul asking, how's Pops doing? Pops are doing great. Paul, we'll have to do something at some point. Down the line when things get a little bit better, maybe next year. Mercy Beers, aka Adam, says unsubscribe from his channel. So if you subscribe to him, go unsubscribe because he doesn't want viewers. He's cool with being that guy that just reviews on other channels. And then Eli, last comment I'll read here. Any of the comments after here, I apologize, but we're gonna have to cut it off at some point. He says, cheers, brother. Have a good night. Thanks, Eli. Like I said, thanks to everybody. Be on the lookout for content probably in the next 7 to 10 days. Roll out reviews. We're going to do live streams. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do more shit like this. And so hopefully everybody had a good time here today, because I did for sure. It felt good in my heart, like both that it's fixed and also from all the love. So if you watch us back on the replay and you have any comments, questions, whatever, post them in the comment section, because I do respond pretty much to every single comment I get, unless it's something like you're a fucking idiot. And at that point, either I ignore it or I agree with it. But either way, I try to... a solution to fix Joe's channel. Turn it off and back on. Looks like it worked. You know what? Fuck you, Nick. That's where we're going to end on, right? Is that proper? Me saying fuck you to Nick? Fuck you, Nick. We're going to leave. All right. But seriously, thanks to everybody. We're going to do this again at some point. And once we do, I'll see you guys again. So thanks for stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.